Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to
Well,
It's Clobbering Time. I put the wrong background. There we go. It's Clobbering Time, and I realized that we're kind of straying from the original purpose of It's Clobbering Time. But tonight we're going to take writers who never worked with artists and back and forth. It's not really fighting anymore. I think we should get back to It's Clobbering Time. But whatever. It's something fun to talk about. But while we filibuster while people are here, I will say I went to the post office today, dropped off another huge bundle of heroic tales to be mailed out. I saw a video of somebody unboxing theirs.
I didn't get to watch that yet.
Yeah, the Gemini mailer had a big crease in it. I'm like, oh no, take this down. But he was like, it's perfect inside, and he's like, I would say this is a 9.6. So he must be like a real serious, CGC collector kind of guy. So he's like, this is a really good condition. This is perfect condition.
I don't care about any of that anymore.
Well, I don't want my comic books beat up.
Let me turn it up.
Yeah, but when he bought two comics, he paid $30 with shipping and everything like that. You don't want to beat up.
No, you don't want to beat up copy.
I was all prepared to be like, I'll send you another copy. I'll send you another copy.
Okay, I got another book, and I got Mark Millar and John Romita Jr.'s Psychic Sam.
Yeah.
And it came. I don't know if you got that book.
Yeah, right here.
I read it, by the way. I really liked it. I really liked it.
Yet, but it's.
I'll back the next one. So I opened it up, and it came without a board in a bag. Just open it up raw in the mailer.
Really?
Yeah, it was really funny. It was fine. It was perfect shape, but it had no board in bag.
I got a bunch of Kickstart. I got Next Evolution 2 and 3 from Heather Vele. I don't know why that was so difficult to say. But I'm not reading any comics until I fulfill my orders.
It's hard for me to read too many comics.
I got Eudaimonia. And did I get something else? Oh, I bought Horseman.
Okay. You didn't read it yet. I like that.
I can't read. I showed you this. I'm
gonna enter. Yes, you did. I want to get that. I might put that on my list. I think I have over a year and a half's worth of romance covers to post. I may do a second one of just Matt Baker covers because you like them so much.
Oh, I really did.
But it's an undertaking. So I'm busy. But it's hard. Oh, I want to interject, and I'm going to say Chuck Dixon is a legend. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's say anything else.
I just stopped even interacting with those guys.
No, don't even bother. Don't even bother.
And they're just like Chuck Dixon is just like another Bill Mantlo or and I forget. I'm like those guys.
Yeah, I would not call Bill Mantlo. Does anybody like some of his work? I would not call him a legend. No.
Oh, you wouldn't? I would.
Chuck Dixon, Len Wein, Marv Wolfman, they're legends. Paul S. Power, I don't know. Gardner Fox. I mean, how many stories Gardner Fox?
I would call all those guys legends, but to me, legend is a personal thing. Like, and then one of the guys was like, they have to be transformative. I'm like, says who?
That's his attitude. That's all.
You know what I mean? But I
don't think you have to be transformative. I mean, there's extra legends. And is Chuck as legendary as Jack Kirby? Well, I don't think Chuck would say, right? I mean, it's all relative.
I mean,
but anybody who did that,
he has comic books being reprinted for 40 years.
Yeah. And he created Bane.
Right. He has a character that's worth $1 billion. Yeah. He created,
And however you feel about what he's doing now does not take away from his legendary status.
But it's just that he works for Rippaverse now, so we got to slam him.
I don't care if he works for Rippaverse or not. That's his business. Whether I'm not mad at Chuck.
The way Chuck Dixon kind of explains it, he goes, if he's interested and you pay him, he's like, I will come up with a story.
That's a unique talent. It's not that easy, as you know.
He is so fast. One of the stories he was telling me that he was the very first time he was offered exclusivity with DC, and they guarantee you like X amount of work or whatever. Okay, you want to be exclusive, because you get paid per comic or page or whatever.
Right? Yeah, so many pages to write a month. Usually.
Right. So he's like, okay, but so X amount of pages. He said he was done in 3 months out of his 12-month
he
he was freaking out. He goes, "What do I do for the rest of the year?" Like, so he was like secretly working for Marvel, but it couldn't be published until
he has two unique superpowers. One is the ability to come up with a story, and two, the ability to come up with a story for any character. He had a long run on SpongeBob. He had a
right.
long run on Simpsons. He had a long run on Punisher, Conan. You couldn't get separated. He'll figure it out. Like, he's a real story man.
He
And,
does the
it's not
research.
just working for Rippaverse. He's going to be putting a book out with Graham on Compass Comics this year.
Right. First off, like you said, he's super quick. He's super punctual. He says that, well, not he said, I know for a fact his research is spot on. So unless it's sci-fi, it's good. You can almost like bank that it's the way it was. And I think this is an underrated talent. And it's going to sound like an insult, but it's not. He's a chameleon.
No,
he
right.
can adapt his style to fit any, like Rich Buckler can adapt his art to fit any genre. He can adapt his writing for romance, for humor, for horror, for comedy.
And he can write novels. I've read his novels.
Right. It's almost a shame. Like, oh yeah, well, why doesn't he change it? Because he doesn't want to. He wants to work within the rules of each comic book. You telling me Chuck Dixon couldn't reinvent the Fantastic Four if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. He wants.
I wish he would write something more. Well, I'm happy he's doing more work, not just Rippaverse work.
He
There's nothing wrong with his Rippaverse work. That wasn't a slam, by the way. I'm not.
Yeah, plus all the stuff he did across Gen. I thought it was great. He did like this historical.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, it was really good.
Unfortunately, it never finished, so I guess people don't talk about it as much.
Well, it's not being reprinted, so
he has a Fantastic Four story. Him and Graham Nolan have it loaded up and ready to go
anytime.
And I begged him to tell me in private. And this is gonna be one of those
big mouth.
I know something you don't, because I can't tell.
I wouldn't tell you. You are a big mouth.
But I know. But I'm big mouth about myself. I
know. I'm teasing you.
But he told us on one of his interviews. He has a Punisher story where he finds out that the Taliban has a weapon of mass destruction. So Punisher sneaks in, uses like a couple of military guys, and they capture the weapon. And guess what the weapon is? A Fing Fang Foom egg.
Wow, that would be cool. That's very
a great
cool.
story.
I like that. That's a great story, yeah.
But the Punisher people didn't want it because they want Punisher fighting mafia and stuff.
Yeah. Well, still, So I was showing you this before. This is my friend James Hansen's book with Greg O'Driscoll. James did the writing, lettering, coloring, Adventures into Darkness. It is a closed campaign on Kickstarter. I will try to find out if he's selling it. I know he has extra books because he brings it to his local. His back cover.
I like the character design and I like the old school look to it.
Yeah, he worked really hard on this, and on the forum, the M1 forum, he goes back and forth
too, huh?
And asks us what.
It's a flip book too, huh?
No, it just has 2 covers.
Okay.
He has some other stories in here. Did
you do any work on it?
No. But we did help him. Like, oh, what color is this? What style should I do? So he's about 45 years old. So he's a real image guy, but he loves the old stuff, particularly big Superman fan. And he really wanted to do all the little lines, but he couldn't do it. His hands, he couldn't bother. So it's all, believe it or not, this is all computer work too, because he finds it easier for him because he presses too hard down on the paper. And he'd take my stuff and we brought back and forth on that board. And, he's so excited. I think he had sold about 99 copies. He put in his local store. He goes to the local store. He lives in Maryland, near Baltimore. And it's, it took years. I mean, he was working on these pages for a long time. He's got a family and a job and all that.
Yeah, see if he has any more copies left.
I will. I'll have to DM him. I'll DM him later. He's not on Twitter, but I think he's a Facebook guy, He's more of a Facebook guy. I did post a link a few times, but you know how it is. I can't remember all the time. It's not in my face all the time.
Yeah.
But like people can crowdfund comics and not have anything to do with Twitter, and you can have crowdfunded comics.
Yeah.
And then that the default crowdfund comics, of course, is usually Kickstarter, which is fine.
It's funny because I kind of neglect Facebook. I'm wondering if I should.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
There's two Village Vigilantes groups, and I advertise there, and I get a bunch of sales.
Well, that's good. I don't know. I don't think, from what I've heard, everybody doesn't get. They all do They all talk on Facebook, like and advertise, but I don't think they get that much. It's really Twitter. Unfortunately, it's Twitter that really gets more sales. That's my feeling. And we're all in a flux. The crowdfunding game is in a flux because of what happened to Indiegogo. It's very difficult for the creator to use Indiegogo. For the fan, the backer is not so bad. Indiegogo is more like Kickstarter. Kickstarter is more like Indiegogo now.
My buddy Mike does the Marshall Strong comic, and he only advertises on Facebook. I told him you got to get a Twitter account, and I'll retweet you and everything.
Yeah, I'll retweet Marshall Strong. I love that. I like that character.
And he posts like 3 times. I'm like, you got a 6-issue series. Come on, man. Let's get it going. And when he's done with that, because Dan Sen at Argo Comics is put.
He's letting Dan do it too.
We're gonna
Dan's not on Twitter enough either.
He's not on Twitter enough, and
they're afraid of Twitter.
I'm gonna see if we could bring it to Longbox Comics, and then I'll go through the lettering and change a couple of things just to keep the continuity fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
And then we'll make a joke like, "Hey, I read about you in that comic book." Yeah, I can't help other people publishing me. I'm a big, but just so because somebody said, "Oh wow, Marshall Strong is a beard. You borrowed Mike's character." I'm like,
well,
Mike's character's one of my players in my Village Vigilantes campaign. He's like the longest running super character, so he's a big deal. But I didn't feel like I had the right to use my buddy's characters. And then when I made my comic book, they were all mad at me that I didn't use their characters. So I'm like, all right. And that, but
isn't that the way though? Isn't that the way?
In Bill Williams' Punchline Annual #1, it's going to be the first time that all my friends' characters.
Yeah, I saw that. That's going to be cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to get that.
The art is so good. It's Oscar's done. It's all done. I just got to go over the script. After we're done tonight, I just got to revisit the script, because Renzo changed panels around and stuff like that. And
I don't change too. I said,
Bill, it's so much fun because it's so stress-free. I just said, Bill, the script revisions, and I'm done.
Yeah, you don't have to sell it.
I don't have to sell it. I don't have to box it. I don't have to ship it. And then he said, like a year afterwards, I could publish it in like Heroic Tales or something like that.
And the other thing is that Fund My Comic is going to get big because all these guys are going to try it out now because they're having trouble with Indiegogo. So, Graham is going to be on Fund My Comic coming up this week.
They should have, yeah.
And I think
is Graham legendary? Like I was trying to do a gotcha.
Graham's a legend, yeah.
I was waiting to be like,
well, Graham can be forgotten a little bit because he spent 12 years doing comic strips instead of comic books, but I think he's a legend. Anybody who does like 10 years on Batman, I mean, come on.
I think he's a legend too, but I thought that guy was like a Comicsgate Kings guy. And be like, of course he's well. Then how is the guy who wrote everything Graham ever drew not a legend? If but
no, I don't know. That one other guy, I don't think was. I was reading it, and I'm driving, so I look at it, but can't really type. So I didn't think they were all comic. One of them wasn't a comics guy.
One guy specifically.
I didn't recognize them. I think they were just picking on you.
Well, because they said, well, Stephanie Phillips has over 1,000. I said, yeah, but in 40 years, if she's still remembered and her stuff is still that makes it kind of legendary.
I didn't know them. I didn't recognize them. Just so you know, I didn't recognize them.
Well, it doesn't
matter. I don't want to recognize everybody. I've had enough.
Because I started to realize it doesn't matter what I say, they're going to change it. Is he?
No, but that's a whole problem with Twitter. It's like, I'm rubber, you're glue. That's what Twitter is. Nobody ever wins. You feel like you made your point, and maybe if you get some support and likes, I won that fight. But everybody could always say, well, F you. Oh, no, F you. And then, what do you said? You're at a standoff. What's the point?
Yeah. Oh, we got so first. Let's go through a couple of these Heroic Tales 2. I'm currently shipping it out every day. It's good to see people posting that they're getting their comics. It's funny because Heather, I keep saying her name wrong. Heather Vele said, I got my comics today, and I was like, I got your comics today.
Oh, that's so funny.
So that was fun.
You did not get your comic yet.
Zach Tan says, I'm hoping I'm having a blessed day. Today I had a really good day. At work, the guy Jimmy was stuck for 40 minutes, and this guy does not like to be late. He's the first guy on the job. He's the last guy to
like to be late either.
Cleans his tools every day. He's one of those kind of guys. So he came in furious. And if Jimmy's in a bad mood, it ruins everybody's day, So we kind of just stood around, even the foreman, for like every morning we have like a lineup. Big foreman tells everybody like the big news, any changes, stuff like that, like what's being turned on. So, the stuff that we need to know to do our jobs without getting hurt. Then we break up into our smaller groups. And then as we were in our smaller group, we just started joking and laughing. And we were talking about things that drive us crazy. And I was talking about how my father, just one day, all my uncles and cousins were all sitting around watching football. And I must have been like 5 or 6. And my father just stands up, turns the sound off the TV and says, in this house, we are never to hear Howard Cosell's voice again. And everybody started laughing. My partner, it was like, who's Howard Cosell? And that just started like, how young are you? Who's how you don't?
Yeah, he's been passed for a while though.
Yeah, it was just like one of those age checks that my partner, a good electrician, good guy, like doesn't even know how it goes. And he's a sports guy. I was like, oh my god!
At some point, you get to see all here's the old. Like they just posted when he announced the death of John Lennon. He's always going to pop up,
right? And that was everybody's like they've never seen a sports guy who did everything. He was on TV shows. He was on comedy sitcoms. He did boxing.
Oh yeah, boxing was so big when he did it too. That's
boxing
when he
fell off the face. Like
boxing was so big.
Since Tyson stopped boxing, it's almost like
when they went to pay-per-view and you couldn't watch boxing for free, like the big fights were on TV. Like, oh, here's Saturday ABC, The Thrill in Manila. Nobody watch it. You could watch it. Oh my God, I can watch Hagler and Hearns, but it'd be free. Now you have to pay. It just shrunk the whole sport. And then MMA you can watch for free. Some of it, not all of it.
A lot of I think MMA stole boxing's fire.
Oh,
it was fun because my grandfather liked boxing, and man, when there was a big boxing thing, my grandmother would make sausage and meatballs.
Oh yeah.
All my uncles would get it was just fun, Get the family together. I'd go to my Uncle Johnny's house, and he had these replicas of the heads from Easter Island. Like he had like a big TV, and then around it, and they terrified me as a kid. I would close my eyes and run past them. They all thought it was funny. Little funny things as kids. And Old Dirty Fatty says, as far as I'm concerned, you two are a bit legendary. No, thank you. I'm not legendary. I'm a legendary grump. Ask my wife.
I'm not a legend in my own mind. Good God.
Legendary.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're a legendary.
Maybe if I draw a couple of comics, I'll be a legend.
My wife says I'm a legendary farter. There you go. What are team swaps? I
don't like that either.
I couldn't come up with a good way to explain it, but basically would have taken an artist and a writer who have never worked together, and then maybe I don't know, Bill Sienkiewicz and Alan Moore on the new Teen Titans or something like that. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of far from the Clobbering Time purview, but
I think that Alan Moore could take Jack Kirby in a fight. That's not a problem. Jack Kirby's only this big, but he's scrappy though.
Well, since Jack Kirby's dead and Alan Moore's alive, but I think both at their primes, Jack Kirby was a tough guy.
Oh, he was a tough guy. That's true.
Yeah. Greetings from the homework. I got homework Horror Tales 2 a few weeks ago. Did a video. Oh, cool. Video? Could you tag me in it? Did I see it already? Tag me in it, or I think I saw him. I'm trying to watch everything about Horror Tales. So far, it's been very, very positive. Thank you. Today was almost. I was like having a heart attack because Levi. Why can't I remember his last name?
Levi Skeen.
Yeah, Levi Skeen. The box was bent. It had a seam in it. It's almost like it was at the bottom of the mailbag. Maybe it was leaning on something. And I was like, please take this down. Please take this down. And he opened it up and he goes, oh, that's perfect. These Gemini mailers, man. That's why I stopped fulfilling for a week, because I had to wait for them to show up. I wasn't going to mail them. I got your boy Zach's book, Killer Capture. Oh,
yeah. I never backed your boy Zach's book.
He's going to get like a lot of people asking for like, send me another copy. This got damaged. They just shrink wrap it, put it in like.
No, I know. I heard that he does that. That's crazy. Everybody else takes so much care of their books. No matter who they all take care of their books.
To the point, if you got to factor in because if you buy a bundle of Gemini mailers, it's like $85 on Amazon. Now, my friend Scott, he could get like a code for his business, but factor in almost $1.
$1 each. That's what I've heard too.
You know what I mean? And what I do, like I just got.
You could save the ones that you can.
Right. Heather just sent me.
Destroyed.
I'm doxing Heather's address, but she just sent me here, so I stack these in my garage.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you get enough books, you could say that saves a lot of bucks.
And here's the funny thing: I try. Like if I got Wolf and Batsy from Brian Bow, I try to save that box, and then when he orders her hotel, I try to put it back in the Wolf and Batsy box.
It's like a fruitcake.
Yeah, so I try to. I just think it's funny.
That is funny. I like that.
Yeah, Howard, all right. So Old Dirty Fatty remembers Howard Cosell. This is Howard Cosell coming to you live from whatever. His voice wasn't. Let's get John and Marcus to box each other on YouTube. Marcus, look at those arms. I don't think. I
have to work out. I haven't worked out that much.
I could take a punch, but
you're strong though. You would do all that work.
I'll tell you this:
I used to be stronger.
We were bending pipe for like the past few months on the job, but now we're in an area that's pitch dark. We had to drop everything and run temporary wire, little inside the actor studio. But so what we do is we put the wire and then we pull it down, tape it so we have little loops. Then we have to cut it, skid it, and splice it. Oh my God, I haven't spliced in so long. I can only imagine how like some artists you must use muscles. Oh,
it happens. Well, I broke my wrist twice, my drawing wrist twice. Enough that I was worried whether I could draw again. And I have arthritis in it. Well, I have arthritis in my knees worse. And if I do a lot, I do get bothered. It bothers
me. God, my hands would
because that's stiff. I can't bend. Like you can bend it this way. This one only bends so far. Like I can't do a push-up anymore because I shattered this wrist. You can't see it, but I have a big scar.
You see my pinky doesn't close. Someday I'll tell you how I broke my pinky.
So yeah, so sometimes the artists they do cramp up. It's true, especially when you use those pens, the microns.
Never underestimate Kirby. Yeah, you told me the story. He chased away the mafia, right?
He chased away the mafia. Yeah, Will Eisner took that in his book Dreamer.
Oh, you tagged me in Renzo. I'll look. I'll look. When if Tony shows up and talks, I'll look. I don't want to spend time looking on the live.
I think you already did that.
Okay, what if you and RJ for the Fourth Age swapped artists?
You already did that. Too late. You used the same artist.
All my comics out used pizza box. Yeah, I whenever I get the mythicals, I love licking the pepperoni off the bag.
I like the mythical. Yeah, well,
the mythicals.
Hojo is a good comic. I think you could still get that. Maybe I'll try to find that. Hold on.
Yeah. Hojo, do you have a?
Does Hojo want to come in? This might be a good Hojo stream.
Yeah, come on in, Hojo. Oh, yeah, there you go. Maybe Tony's waiting because I forgot to do this. Here is an invite. Remember, every It's Clobbering Time is an open invite. If you come on in and talk. So here, click this, and you can pop in. Just if I don't know
you can't.
Well, you gotta have a camera.
With Hojo around, you can't. You're not allowed to criticize the Hulk comic. So, like you do. So there you go.
Okay. There you go. We'll filibuster for another minute or two. I hope Tony shows up. I want to read the Shadow novel first, and then I want to go back and do It's Clobbering Time. Doc Savage versus the Shadow, but I want to read the Shadow novel first.
I haven't read it. I haven't read a Shadow. I have Chuck's books, by the way. The 2 Conan books. You said they're worth money. I'm going to sell them. I haven't read them yet, but I'll sell them.
Yeah, he wrote 3 Conan novels. He wanted to take 3 different.
2 of them were published. I don't think the third one was published.
Yeah, I think they got a cease and desist letter from the Howard estate, and then the Howard estate's like, wait, we're going to publish them.
These are pretty good. I remember him saying that.
So now, the third one never came out, and then they're going to redo them under like official. So there you go.
I do have those books though. I haven't read.
I got one. He sent me one in a big package. Of that's how I got.
I got them last year for Christmas because you could still get them on Amazon then. And then But I have to read some more Howard before I read his. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
read one Conan story. I read the
yeah, I
first.
want to read more Conan, and I looked it up, and I got the Howard reprints, and then I'm like, this print is really small.
Yeah, so Chuck he did one Conan novel that's a siege. So it's a castle siege. I think Conan's attacking a castle, sieging. The second one is a caravan. I think Conan's protecting the caravan.
I
And then
can
the
get
third
them
one
if
is
you
going to
want.
be
Hold on.
pirates. The third one's going to be pirates. And there you go. Excuse me. This is Hojo's Comic, The Mythicals. I haven't read the Levon Cade novels.
I read 2 of them.
Did you buy one after we saw the movie? Did
What?
you buy one of the books that the Levon Cade? Remember the movie that we saw, the vigilante movie that we liked?
What movie?
Yeah.
No, I bought the movie.
Oh, you bought the movie? Okay. Yeah, my
I
wife.
read 2 Levon Cade novels, and I'm in a little third one.
And there's a Levon Cade biker crossover, right? With Mike Barron.
Yeah. I haven't read any of the biker stuff, but I like that hard crime. I like John D. McDonald and Elmer Leonard. Like that's a big like. Barron loves those guys. Graham Nolan loves those guys.
Yeah, I read
I've read them a lot. I don't read them as much as I used to.
I went through a phase of reading the old.
What I used to do is I used to read a fantasy or science fiction novel, and then a crime novel, then a science fiction, a fantasy or science fiction, and then a crime novel. I didn't really make the difference in my head between fantasy and science fiction. I knew there was a difference, but and that's how I used to read books. But I have them here. I have 2 of them. This is The Siege.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
And then I have this one is the Caravan.
Oh, maybe that's the one I have. The covers.
And they have nice covers on them.
I also got 2 out of his 3 westerns, the Sidewinder series.
I have not read those.
Yeah, the one with the girl cowboy, and the publisher said this is too violent. We might not publish it.
Oh yeah, the Levon Cade stuff is pretty hard hitting.
And then now he has a Barsoom novel, right? So it's John Carter.
Yeah, that's on Kindle. No, I've read that. I read John Carter. I like John Carter.
Yeah,
I read more John Carter than Tarzan.
I think I read the first 5 John Carter novels.
I think I read 2, but that's a long time ago.
I think I read up until Carson. Not Carson, that's Tarzan's son, right? What's John Carter's?
He is John
He's
Carter.
Yeah, he is Carson of Mars, right?
Yeah, that's it. I think I read that. It's hard.
I read
because
the next book is going to be Carson of Mars, so that's why I read. I read the first 2 Tarzan novels. I can't believe how much I like them.
Yeah, I've read the first Tarzan novel. The thing about the John Carter, do they stick in your head like other? They don't, because they were written like comic books. So at the end of every chapter is a cliffhanger, because that's how they're written for the magazine.
Right.
Pulps. And so it doesn't sink in as much, because it's all action. It's just all action.
It's all action.
Yeah.
I know it's blasphemy to say this, but I have a problem with the John Carter novels in that the world building is weird.
Yeah.
Like there's no explanation. John Carter's like this immortal being that like astral projects into another planet, and then we never mention that again. And then everybody's telepathic, but until they're not.
It changes. Yeah, well, it's kind of part of the pulps,
Right.
It wasn't
it's
as written
like,
as
that was a
one.
bad idea. We're gonna forget about it.
He didn't really write it as like one novel. Here's my novel, beginning, middle, end, and this the world in this novel. It's like story. Each section, each chapter is a story, and they just put it together like that. I don't think anybody really. He didn't go back and stitch it together and make it make a whole lot of sense,
Yeah. I know you shouldn't be admitting this, but I read the first 6 of the Gore novels back in college.
I've never read those, but I've heard about them.
And they're not as bad as everybody makes them out to be, or at least not the first 6.
That's because they're a little misogynistic.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a brutal barbarian world, like kind of based on like Bronze Age Europe, and it's like women were just trophies, you know what I mean? The Viking, you know what I mean? So it's like setting a story of the Viking world to be like, it's misogynist, granted it's but whatever. But my problem with it is the world building is weird. Like there's certain places you go to and it's super advanced, and they have light bulbs and surgery and stuff like that. And then like 2 novels later, it's just caravans and cavemen. You know what I mean? What were the advanced people? We don't mention them again. But the space aliens who rule everything are pretty cool. Like the third book, The Priest Kings of Gore, is a great science fiction novel set in a fantasy world. It's really, really good. I went back and reread that one. The rest of them are just, look at me, I'm the best at everything. Like he becomes a pirate. He's the greatest pirate. And then he becomes a caravan leader. He's the greatest caravan leader, you know. But that's the thing in those old time novels is the main character is Mary Sue.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know, Doc Savage is just like, there's almost no
Savage, yeah.
He's just going to. He's
that's
better.
What people wanted out of those stories back then. You know, it's like you could read like the Elmore Leonard and everybody's, even like Travis McGee. He's the hero, but he gets the crap knocked out of him every. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
his friend almost dies.
I mean, the Gore novels, I guess, were written in the '60s, but like up until maybe the '70s is where they changed and made like the vulnerable hero. And geez, the '70s is 50 years ago. So, you know,
and the '70s is 50 years. That's right.
You know what I mean? So like that's like a lifetime. So
here's the weirdest thing. So we're in 2025 and 1975 is 50 years ago. But 50 years from 1975 is a completely different world.
Right.
You know, now we have a more advanced world than 1975, but we still had cars and we had TV and you had jeans and sneakers and semi-similar stuff that we have now. But 50 years before that is like, you know, this world, 55, 65, 70. That's 30 years is World War II. So 20 years before that, they were still like people were still on horse-drawn carriages in some spots.
That is a really good point. That, you know, in the past 25 years, the only major change is like cell phone technology.
Well, the internet, like that, the technology for entertainment has like exploded. But like transportation, it's more efficient, but it's the same, you know, except they had better cars in the 70s, giant steel monsters that you couldn't, you know, you really have to smash it to get yourself hurt now.
I mean, I don't know, and I'm sure anybody who's into fashion, but like, I can't tell any difference from 2000 to 2025.
No, unless it's extreme fashion. No, jeans,
but everybody could pick out the 90s. Everybody could pick out the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s. But it's almost like it just, this fashion just, I don't know. But I'm sure like Martina Markota could explain the difference.
Well,
you know what I mean?
So like I watched this TV show 1923. It was this miniseries from spinoff of Yellowstone, right? And it was very good. It's really violent, but that's Harrison Ford was in it, and Helen Mirren, and they would go into town. And the first year, you know, it was over a span of just like a year, 2 years, you know, it took place. And they go into town the first time, like in the first episode, and they hitched up their horses. You know, they 3 days into town and a horse-covered wagon, and then time passed, maybe 6 months to a year. They went into town again, and there was no place to hitch up their horses because everybody was driving Model Ts.
Oh wow!
So like they did like, and then like Harrison was like, "What the heck's going on?" So that's what struck me about that. All that stuff changed so fast. You know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of World War II, the Russians were fighting on horseback. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't think about that now, fighting on horseback. You know, that would be like unfair. You're gonna go fighting an army on a horseback?
That'd be pretty bad. Well, now we don't really have to. Soon enough, it's going to be like that Star Trek episode where they press the button and you fight the war. Because it's all going to be drones. We're not going to put people in harm's way as much. We still do, but we might not. I mean, it might be only 20 years before that is, and that's not a long time.
Yep. What do we got here? Zach Tan.
Boy, well, this is interesting. It's clobbering time.
Yeah. I'm filibustering, but I'm enjoying this conversation. Older stories tended to focus on paragons, heroes who are very capable. Later stories focused on the everyman. That's true. Like that's something to think about. I've been struggling with this story for a while, and it's going to be, they're going to a funeral of one of the original
you
World War
told me
II
about this a
heroes.
little.
And I didn't know how to end it, but now I came up with what I think is going to be a great ending. And now from this conversation, I was thinking about how, like, without saying it, maybe the stories will, because they're all going to be sitting around. Because this guy, and I don't want to say his name or whatever, because I'm like superstitious about somebody stealing my names.
I know you do. Yeah.
So it's going to start out around the grave, and it's going to have, like, and his daughter is going to be like, he loved being a superhero. He loved everything. He created the first super team. He loved the pageantry, the costumes, the traditions. Like, he started the traditions of all the superhero stuff. So she goes, he would have loved this, seeing all of you here in your costumes. So nobody's wearing a black tie and a suit. Everybody's wearing their costume. So, of course, this older people who are maybe too fat for their costumes, you know what I mean? But I've already pictured this double spray. It's gonna be like 100 characters that I got to draw each one to give to Renzo, and then I got to tell Oscar how to color because they're in their costumes, And then he's a scientist hero, so they're all gonna go back to the observatory and have a beer and tell stories about it. That's what he wanted. So then they tell his origin and this, and I'm thinking maybe in the 70s you'll actually see it. He stops being a Mary Sue character and becomes like a vulnerable hero. I think that'll be fun.
I want to tell you the names of these characters.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I want to see.
Because you like the names. You remind me. So
yeah, I like the
this is the stories Into the Garden of Evil, and this is Dr. Dinosaur. The green guy.
Okay, Dr. Dinosaur.
And she's the tigress.
That's a good name.
And then I think the Dr. Dinosaur, that's like a Tom. He likes Tom Strong and that other I can't even remember now. He did a cover for you, Michael T. Gilbert's character.
Okay, Mr. Monster.
Mr. Monster, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Hero Tales 5 has a dinosaur-based superhero,
and then he has Lemure Cthulhu's, and I suppose that's where the Cthulhu's monster comes from.
Okay.
I haven't read it yet, but I know a little about it already. But I thought you'd like to hear the names. You always like the names of the characters.
Because Atomic Robo fights Dr. Dinosaur, and he's one of my favorite.
Well, don't worry about. I mean, this is 100 copies of this comic. I think you can have
names like that. There's already one of my major villains. I just read a crowdfunded book that completely different character used the name the wrong way, but is using one of the names of my major villains, and I'm like, I'm not going to get too upset.
When we did Captain Courage, we searched. This Google was around. And we searched, and it was Captain Courageous in the old day. We talked about the Golden Age characters last week. And there was a Captain Courage. He was like a diabetic character. And we're like, yeah, we're going to go with it. Because it's so small. We're so small. That's so small. No, it doesn't, and it's like Captain Courage, there would be a million of them. There isn't, surprisingly enough. But you figured there would be. It's a Batman 66 type of idea.
I'm scrolling through Hobos to see I must have seen it. And of course, I just hit the button and got out of it. But yeah, there's a Dr. Dinosaur who fights Atomic Robo. Guys, I love the Atomic Robo. It didn't sell too well.
Robo's good. I like that too.
He's a robot built by Tesla, and he's been around for like 100 years. So there's World War I stories, World War II stories, Korean War stories, and whatever. But he fights Dr. Dinosaur. And Dr. Dinosaur is just like a madman. It's like, yeah, baby, I just want to blow stuff up. I want to, yeah. And he's always lying. He's just, I love them. He looks like a pterodactyl guy without wings. Yeah. And he wears like a doctor's outfit with the reflector mirror on top. He's just goofy. I love him.
I mean, I'm working on the public eye, so not
good because I got like 4 stories.
Oh, God help me.
I got, so please buy the comic. We can torture Marcus.
I work on such crappy paper. I ripped up the second panel. I'm on one panel's on one piece of paper, another panel's on another piece of paper, and then I'll light box it all on Bristol board. So
it's getting scary because you're ready to submit a page.
I have one I could ink now. I just haven't.
And Arkham's about to submit 2 pages, and then Ron's going to submit a double page.
Well,
please not the same week. Please not the same week.
No. So what I'm doing is that one page sat for a long time, and it's really too detailed. Like I was trying to get the look of the character and the city, and then I don't even want to look at it. And so I want to get a couple of pages like into it, and then go back and ink it. Like the Mythic Americas,
Whatever
I
you
would
want.
be doing
As long as you
pencil
have
ink
fun.
finish, but
I
I'm
don't
not
want
going
you
to
to
do
torture
that. So.
yourself.
Well, excuse me?
I said, whatever it's fun for you. I don't want you to torture yourself.
No. I want to get through some of the storytelling. The third panel is the first time I kind of like, boom, that would work.
The
So
second
the fourth
story
panel of page 2, I have like in my head already, so that's good.
The second story, if we get to it, is going to be a poinsettia, mostly her, and she gets a job in a cocktail lounge, and it's so
You told me that. Yeah, you make me nervous.
a lot of beautiful girls, and one of them goes missing, and so she goes out looking for the public eye to solve the mystery of what happened.
Well, I think I'm pretty good at drawing girls. I hope so. So far, well, in this,
I already got their names. I already, you know what I mean. I got the outline.
Area of crowdfunding, and I'm just gonna put everybody in a lump. Unless you're the big guy, like the big creators that used to work for Marvel and DC and Image and stuff, us lower guys, I think I draw pretty good girls. You know what I mean? I think the rest of the guys have a little trouble with the girls. Like the guys on the studio. Don't tell them.
You drew poinsettia exactly how I pictured her in my mind. And when I referenced,
well, no, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
You found the exact picture I was thinking.
I don't even read a lot of Love and Rockets. It was in college. It was such a ubiquitous comic in 1986, 87, 88. It was around, and I know of it, but I didn't read it like you did. I knew the art. And then, cartoonist kayfabe reminds you of it. And as soon as you said that, I go, well, there has to be a Love and Rockets character. It has to be. It has to be.
I got the third story. I don't want to spoil anything like that. And then after the third story, I could do that 2-page story that you already finished.
Right. Now I'll redraw that. I want to redraw that by the time I'm done with this, so you got to stop me.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I can see. I'm not mad at that because Pete or anything, because I was looking through. I have an issue of that, and it doesn't fit that wacky dark horror comic. It's fine. He would be better off a couple of pages. I think it would be fun, but Pete's a serious guy.
Right.
A
Yeah.
little too serious.
Yeah. I thought there was another comment, but not. So Eddie, what did people? If you don't understand what we're talking about, Marcus, I asked him to rush, and we did a 2-page silent story of the public eye, just because Pete Sabetti asked for submissions for it came out on a Wednesday, and he didn't accept it.
Gee, I mean, I have a friend who did the cover on that other one, that Pumpkinhead guy. I know that guy who drew that comic. He's a good friend of Andy Smith's here in Charlotte. He's here in Charlotte too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not impressed with all that comic. I like the comics he had, like Horse Age Hoover and Wolf and Batsy. He didn't have those anymore. So,
Yeah, Alterna, they got 2 issues of it came out on a Wednesday, coming out any day now. I pre-ordered them. I mean, I'm not mad or anything.
$2.99, they're really worth the money.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not mad at Pete. It's his comic. What he want? I think he thought I was going to be a little mad at him, but I wasn't mad. And then he's got that. I don't know if that's going to continue, but there's 2 more issues of Unit 44, which I think is a fun comic. It's a shame to see it ending, but I don't think it's sold.
I don't think Pete wants to publish that much more than King Cryptid and what the other one, Blood Realm.
King Cryptid and Blood Realm is really.
I get King Cryptid. I like King Cryptid a lot.
It's really good. I enjoy King Cryptid.
I did a fan on it.
What he's doing is pretty clever. Each issue is drawn by somebody else, so he can do 4 at a time. So it's almost
it's genius. That's a genius move.
So he's doing 8 issues a year.
But they're not that much money. I mean,
hey, Tony's here. Hey, Tony.
Hey guys, how's my mic? All right.
It's always good at first,
I'm surprised this works. My computer works. Oh, it's a work computer. There's all sorts of crap on it.
Oh, God.
No idea why it works.
My neck is. I think now that my neck is healed, I think maybe arthritis is settled in from the breaks. It's starting to hurt now.
They told me that I was going to have arthritis in my elbow because I shattered that once, and I shattered my wrist a couple of times. We're drawing wrist. That's fun, right? And they said I would have arthritis, and I ended up with arthritis in my knees.
So because I spend a lot of time like this, look it up.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
My neck is just killing me. But anyway, we'll kind of fill up us 45 minutes. We waste of time. So let's get into it. So it's clobbering time this week. It's like I said, it's not technically a clobbering time. So we're going to take a writer and an artist who've never worked together, and then put them on a title or a character that they've never worked together. So we're making up creative teams that have never existed. I don't see how that can be conflict and fighting, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get back to fighting and conflict. That was fun, but I don't know. This is kind of fun. So, Tony, do you have you always have a good starting conversation?
Walter B. Gibson and Neil Adams on the Batman.
Well, Neil Adams did draw Batman, so he can't.
Well, Walter B. Gibson then.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, get ready for a Batman comic every day with that guy, right? Walter P. Gibson drew.
Well, was Walter? How many pseudonyms did other people write under Walter B. Gibson's name?
No, that was the story for Doc Savage.
Doc
Walter
Savage,
B. Gibson.
right. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he holds the record for the longest. The guy that published the most stuff, consecutive stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I know Walter P. Gibson is the most prolific novelist in history. He did the Shadow. Oh, I just realized he didn't do the first Shadow book, huh?
He did the first Shadow book, but the 2, 3, and 4 were ghost written. Oddly enough, Shadow number 3 was this one of the few stories, the handful that he didn't do was
by Maxwell Grant. Did I get the wrong thing?
That was one of his pseudonyms.
Oh, okay.
But one of the few that he didn't write were borrowed by Bill Finger for the Case of the Chemical Syndicate, Detective Comics 27. So that's one of the reasons why I think Walter Gibson never sued DC because DC stole a lot from the Shadow.
Oh yeah, no, early Batman's very close to the Shadow. That's right.
Yeah, the more we learn about Bill Finger, the more he sounds like a shady character himself, right? Like,
well, there's a YouTuber out there, Peter DeLuca Acapad, who has a series of videos about how Finger really wasn't the guy. He's a big Bob Kane believer. It's a complete opposite of what everybody else says. He's not right, but it's fascinating.
Oh, so which one was the shady guy? Am I mixing them up? Bob Kane?
Bob Kane is shady.
Oh, Bob Kane was the shady.
He went to high school with Will Eisner.
Okay.
And then Stan Lee after that. They all went to the same high school in the Bronx.
I got these on the same day, so.
Is that one of them, The Living Shadow?
Yeah, this is The Living Shadow. You said this was the first one. I got to read so I read the first Doc Savage novel, and then I read the 8th Doc Savage novel. I thought it was number 2. And this is supposed to be the second one. 165 Doc Savage novels. I'm not going to read them all.
Well, the difference between Gibson and Lester Dent for me was that Gibson has consistency. Lester Dent sort of phones a lot of it in.
And
Lester Dent was at Doc Savage and one called The Avenger. You might remember him, John. DC 4 or 5 issue miniseries in the 70s.
Kirby did it.
Kirby.
When he was finishing his contract.
Scarlet Pimpernel, which is supposed to be the original costume hero.
By the Duchess, or is she a Baroness?
Yeah, Baroness or Cheesy.
Yeah, I love that book. It's
I should have figured you read it. Yeah. So I got a lot of novels to read. I got now that I'm back on the train, instead of watching YouTube, I'll read like one page and fall asleep.
Have you gotten into Zorro yet, John?
No, I want to get into Zorro. Who's the author on Zorro?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I read a whole bunch of them when I was younger.
So you want to say William Gibson writing Batman? So you can't use Neil Adams because he already drew Batman. So pick on never drawn Batman.
Okay, how about this? William B. Gibson writing him and Alex Raymond drawing. How about that?
Alex Raymond. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Alex Raymond created Flash Gordon, and then later on, when he went to war, when he was coming back from the war, he wanted to go back on Flash Gordon, and they said no, and they wouldn't let him. And I think that was against the law. I think the law said if you fought in World War II, you saw combat, you get your job back. And for whatever reason, they didn't, or maybe he didn't pursue it. So he created Rip Kirby, which I'm currently reading. And Rip Kirby is about as far from Flash Gordon as you could possibly get. It's like Mad Men as a detective. The only weird thing is it strains credibility a little bit. Is how does this guy just stumble upon all of these mysteries? You know, like Levon Cade. In the first Levon Cade novel, it falls into his lap, but like by the third novel, it's like I haven't read it yet, but like Levon, you must be looking for trouble because there's only so many times.
Levon.
You know what I mean? There's only so many times you could just be like, I'm running my own business. The next thing you know, I'm taking out a Mexican cartel.
Partially in the third one, it finds Levon based on what happened at the end of the second one.
Right, I could see that sooner or later.
Yeah, I can't tell you because it's a little bit of a spoiler.
But I could see that sooner or later.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a coincidence, a quickie dink, you know.
You know, Spider-Man could just be hanging out. Dr. Octopus is going to attack, and we accept that. But anyway, let's get back. So William Gibson, creator of the Shadow, writing Batman, drawn by Alex Raymond. That would, man, you in an alternate world someplace, that is just a master seller. And I would picture that in the Sunday, like in the newspapers rather than comic books. That would be great. Oh man, I'm trying to picture that.
And I'd have another one. Hey dog, I have another one. H.P. Lovecraft and I'm trying to figure out who could complement Lovecraft's work. Maybe H.P. Lovecraft and Kelly Jones writing John Constantine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that would really.
I thought you were going to say Doctor Strange, but Constantine works even better because Constantine's a little bit more creepy than Doctor Strange. Oh wow! I'll say Lovecraft, Constantine, and P. Craig Russell. How's that? Oh man, that would be a great comic. Man, why? Let's go. Let's go. Lovecraft is dead. Gibson's dead, but. We could get like one of these many Lovecraft clones to do, but whatever. You got more? These are fun, Tony.
Not give me a minute because I'm trying to search for my for some. I can't just throw anybody at this. You know, I can't say like.
I was thinking, of course, I'm going to say Alan Moore doing the Fantastic Four. And then I realized that all the artists that I had lined up already did the Fantastic Four. So, like,
yeah, I'm having that problem too.
Like Graham Nolan, because I know he's dying to do the Fantastic Four.
He did do a couple of the kids line of Fantastic Four, but not the.
Kirby do Superman. I remember he did it a little bit, but somebody would redraw over the features.
I have one that would have been Superman. We'll discuss it then. I have one.
Okay.
For Kirby and Superman.
Yeah, didn't they redrew his face because they didn't like Kirby's Superman face?
Well, he couldn't draw. If we look at it now, Kirby's face is fine, but back then they were really careful with it. And what happened to my thing? But they didn't like the way he drew the S either. Could not draw the Superman S, which ironically enough looks a lot like the one in the movie.
And Kirby couldn't draw Spider-Man.
He could not draw Spider-Man at all.
No, he
had no idea how the webs work.
Yeah, his Spider-Man looks like a kid in pajamas.
Yeah, it does. Ditko had really loose webbing on Spider-Man, but the guy who perfected the webbing was John Romita Sr. He figured it all out around the face and everything. That's like he figured that all. And what's weird about Spider-Man, the costume changes depending on the perspective. So if the arm is going like this, then it's scalloped this way. But if the arm's going away, it's scalloped the other way.
Oh, now I got to check that out.
Because it doesn't. Yeah, because it makes more sense. Nobody notices.
Yeah, that's something an artist would notice. I never noticed that. What's up, Tony?
So that Theodore Sturgeon, the inventor of the Muck Monster, writing Swamp Thing with Richard Corbin doing the pencils.
Richie Corbin doing anything. That guy's so good. Yeah. Oh, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. I'm trying to come up with the real off the wall ones now.
I got a couple.
You said that I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any Kirby doing Superman, but you said that he made Superman kind of like more sad, like a loner in a world.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you read the Jimmy Olsen in the New Gods, his Superman was alone. Like he felt alone, and when he found the compound where the Forever people were Supertown. Oh, I want to live here. They're all like me. They're all super. Nobody else was super. He really like Lois, like out. Jimmy Olsen out, and he was really kind of more of a miserable guy.
Yeah. Sure.
But they used that. DC used everything. They used Kirby more than Marvel in a weird way. They really he created so much for Marvel, it was just ingrained. But at DC, it's like, okay, we're stealing Darkseid. We're stealing all your concepts. They're all Superman villains now.
Well, I kind of catch hell for saying this too, but Superman, to me, for the most part, for the greatest superhero ever, he kind of has a lame rogues gallery.
Well,
I knew somebody was going to disagree with me.
No, well, I like the Parasite. Like
Parasite's great, like Sluther, Metallo.
They're terrifying.
Those are really early. But in the 50s and 60s, Superman didn't have superhero adventures. He got himself. Lois was trying to figure out he was so powerful. It was always somebody trying to trick him, and he had to figure it out. The man with two heads, like some weird stuff. They couldn't have him fight anybody. And it was literally a different, way less powerful Superman in the Justice League, or he wouldn't work at all. Why need a Justice League if you have Superman?
Right. It was very clickbait. You're right there, but let's examine this, because I always thought Bizarro was terrifying to me. The concept of Bizarro is terrifying because what you have there is Superman, the powers of Superman in the mind, in the body of he's retarded. I'm sorry, he's special needs.
Yeah.
And you can't and there's a difference between Bizarro and the Hulk. The Hulk is sort of an innocent. He's like a little boy. Bizarro is severely special needs, and he could hurt you. He could kill you. He could kill everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of that. And another one, everyone laughs at him, but Mr. Mxyzptlk, that's a god.
Incredibly powerful.
That's Q from Star Trek. That's a god. And then you have the Parasite, again, a very
I love the Parasite. Mr. Mxyzptlk, however you say it, Mxyzptlk. Yeah. I just don't like him because I can't pronounce his name. That's just like a weird thing that I have.
Well, nobody could pronounce. That was kind of the thing.
But that was the point. That was the point. Yeah.
Yeah, Brainiac is a great villain. He seems silly, even when he was green in a silly jumpsuit.
No, that's my favorite.
He was really menacing.
No, my favorite is the way Alex Ross drew him in the lab coat and a scalpel.
Oh yeah, Injustice. Yeah, I have that.
It's nothing more terrifying than a bad.
Justice was terrifying. I
mean, we all have a healthy fear of doctors. Now, just imagine you're an alien doctor who cares nothing for you, and he's I'm just doing this in the pursuit of science. No,
yeah, I'm just going to cut up Aquaman's head and take his brain out. Not a problem.
Yeah, it's for science. It's just for research.
Yeah, that whole Justice Limited series was really dark.
Yeah,
and then you have the weirdest one, the Ultra Humanite. Which
but they didn't use him for so long.
Never gets enough love, but that is a nightmarish villain right there. So I would say that Superman's villains are very overpowered like him. It's just that there's so much inconsistency in that strip that
because they had no world building. Like John talks about world building, and what we're really looking at is like the Marvel Universe, which came by naturally because Stan Lee thought it would be a good idea to put the characters together, and they were all in New York City. So they all ran into each other, and then they had team up books. But the DC was like the Superman. Oh, there's world's finest. But that Batman and Superman went the same. Batman and Superman. We have no concept. They had no universe. They had no continuity. A different thing happened. It's like the sitcoms. You watch a sitcom from the 70s, and here's Uncle Joe comes in this episode, and we love Uncle Joe. You'll never see Uncle Joe again for the next 7 years. Now, like things will be. There was no history.
They actively fought against continuity back then.
Well, it's like like watching an old Rockford Files. It's a great show, but there's really hardly any continuity. A little with his dad, it just ends, and they don't really bring. And then they started bringing characters back, and you're like, wait,
this has nothing to do with its clobbering time or anything. But Marcus, you just made me think of this. You know when I started to realize that maybe I had a problem with continuity? With watching The Odd Couple.
Oh yeah, that's one of the issues. Yeah.
Did you ever, Tony? Are you familiar with the Odd Couple? Jack Klugman, Tony Randall.
I watched them, but I didn't watch
No,
them
I'm very
really.
familiar with the Odd
Well,
Couple.
the first season, I don't know if they filmed it in an actual apartment in Manhattan, but it was a different apartment. And then the
Yes,
second
it was.
the
Yes, it
second
was.
season was obviously a studio, like a live studio audience. And then, the only continuity was Felix was divorced from Blanche, and Oscar was divorced from Blanche, and Felix was divorced from Gloria.
Gloria, that's right.
They were childhood friends. They were not childhood friends. They met in college. They had a brother. He didn't have a brother, and they just and I was like, no, Felix's brother lives in Buffalo. And then another episode, he didn't have a brother. And then I remember one episode of Cheers. Frasier says his father was dead.
That's right.
And then the
they
TV
brought his father back.
His father.
It was Cheers around the time of Cheers and Seinfeld. They started after the first few seasons. They started having reoccurring characters and remembering those characters. The same thing in the early Seinfeld. Like they forget one. Elaine and Jerry were split up, but they were friends, right? But somewhere in the first season, they slept together. Nobody remembers it.
Yeah. I saw continuity was a
they
Happy
didn't really do any continuity for a long
like
time.
Happy Days. The first season it was obviously in a house, and then the second season it was a studio, and then he had a brother named Chuck who just
Chuck just went upstairs one day and never came back.
Yeah, he just never came back for the second.
I remember that. Sure.
And here's another thing: is Fonzie was like a bad guy, not a bad guy,
he was
like
bad
a bad boy that you
yeah.
didn't want to mess with. And Ralph was the cool guy, but then by the third season, Fonzie was the star, and Ralph was just
because it was a breakout. He's a breakout character,
the goofball character. So continuity has always been a thing with me. But anyway, let's get back. So, anybody in the chat have a team that they think would be fun?
I have a couple.
Go ahead. Give another one.
Chris Claremont never worked with Jack Kirby.
I'm sorry?
Chris Claremont never worked with Jack Kirby.
Wow.
So although they crossed in the 70s, never. So I figured they could work on the Justice League. Or I was going to say Superman, but then I thought Jimmy Olsen might count.
Chris Claremont, Jack Kirby, Justice League. Wow. Just be prepared for all the women to be in charge. And
yeah, Chris Claremont was DEI before DEI, right?
Yeah.
But back then it was different,
Wow.
It was fresh back then.
But just think of that though. Just Chris Claremont. I mean, first off, he would have to write to Kirby's strengths, otherwise. So
he'd have to, or you would be reading a book. He'd write all over Kirby.
And then
he wrote over Byrne.
Just think about like the soap opera elements of it, in the best part of the word, because the X-Men. I mean the character development. Oh wow, that is a good one. Chris Claremont, Jack Kirby.
And because I thought of a Jack Kirby. Stan Lee never worked with Dave Cockrum, but I thought of Stan. You mentioned Jack Cole, Stanley and Jack Cole on Batman.
Oh wow!
Could you imagine that? I mean, Cockrum. They never worked together either, but Cockrum worked on so many series that it was really.
I mean, Stan Lee's an easy one. You could throw about any DC character, right? Yeah.
Well, he did that. Absolute. Yeah. You go right to DC. Well, Cole could be anyone, but I thought Batman would be particularly interesting.
Wow.
Well, it couldn't be Spider-Man or.
As much as you got me intrigued with Chris Claremont on the Justice League, Jack Cole drawing Batman. That would.
Jack Cole drawing Batman. Yeah.
What's that, Tony?
Otto Binder and CC Beck on the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh my God.
That'd almost be like a Mike Allred thing.
That would be fun. That is a good one. I never would have thought of that one, because to me, those two guys, like, I almost can't take them away from Captain Marvel. That is a good one. Wow.
And I thought of a Chuck Dixon one too that he would like.
What?
Chuck Dixon and Frank Robbins on Sergeant Rock or the Haunted Tank.
Oh, Chuck Dixon his face would explode. He would be so happy.
Oh, he would have a heart attack.
Yeah. He loves all of those. Believe it or not.
I was going to think Bill Kniff, but I said I think Frank Robbins, because Frank Robbins did comics, and Kniff really just stayed to the strips, and Robbins a little more unique. Oh, he loved that. that's a dream. It's like working with Russ Heath, but I just kind of automatically thought of it. I had to think of something. It's something that Chuck hasn't had a chance to write, which is almost impossible to find.
Tony, before you got here, we were like, I got to like a little Twitter argument with people like defending Chuck Dixon's a legend. I mean, just for the fact of how prolific he is. Second off, he did more stuff than you think. But like these people, I think they just he writes for the Rippaverse, so we got to poop on him. Or I got into comic books in 2005, and he hasn't done any Marvel or DC comics. I never, so how can he be a legend? But anyway,
you had both in that stream.
For those of you who are watching this and are not familiar with Chuck Dixon, yeah, he's been on my channel a lot. We email back and forth. He's checking out one of my scripts, so consider my bias. I want to be upfront about that.
I should send Chuck some artwork and let him steal me from you.
But good, that would be good. I sent Mark Millar.
I don't know if you would like it.
I sent Mark Millar a file of tonic bowls saving the world. I was just like, you never know. He's always looking for different artists. Why not? So, tonic bowl, become a millionaire, and then you can draw my stories for free. That would be awesome. I want my friends to succeed. I'm not sure Marcus, if you get stolen by Chuck Dixon, I'm gonna be like, that guy worked for me.
Get stolen by Chuck Dixon. That would be
awesome. But anyway, as I was saying about Chuck Dixon, he's known for more realistic stories, his Batman, his Punisher, but he loves the fantastic elements. Like he wanted to do that Fing Fang Foom story with the Punisher. I think, and he says he loves like the haunted tank and all of that, the weird war stuff. He would love that.
Oh, yeah, any of that DC. He loves DC war stuff. I'm surprised you like the DC war stuff so much more than the EC war, the Harvey Kurtzman war stuff.
Yeah, he says the EC war stuff was good. He said the Atlas war stuff was really good. I took his word for it. I just got it.
The Atlas stuff is good. Yeah, I looked at a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just got the Atlas horror stuff.
Yeah, the Atlas stuff is underrated.
Yeah, I don't know.
This stuff is way underrated.
Yeah, so I think the next one is the war stuff coming out. But for those of you who don't know what I'm holding up, these are Atlas libraries. This is number 6. I think I have 4 of them. I got the first one because my favorite Atlas character is Venus. I just love that character. It's goofy. So they start out as like mythological stories, but then they just turn into romance stories. And Marcus got me interested in romance comics with all of those great posters.
Well, I don't think I've read some of the stories. The stories aren't so great. They really have to be drawn by somebody really great.
Yeah, Matt Baker.
And I used to try to find them for my wife. And Toth, I wish Toth did covers. He didn't do any covers. He did some great. Growth of Frazetta did some great romance stories in the 50s. There's all sorts of Avon. There's all sorts of stuff that I haven't even touched. It's such a big genre that people don't even remember it. That's why I keep doing it with like names people know, like Dick Jr.
Yeah, it is. It really is bizarre how popular they were. They were on par, if not maybe more popular than superheroes at one point. And then they just stopped.
Well, they also cheapened out. It's partially this company's fault because as I went through the history, and Charlton's really cheap. Some of those covers are just reprinted, pasted up cover, from insides. DC did the same thing. Like a lot of Romita covers are splash pages from the story he drew. He would draw the first page. Warner Roth would do the rest. They reprinted them constantly, so they're all the same. They didn't really. It's kind of weird.
Like the few times I've bought Archie comics, I realized that I've read the story already. And
Archie recycles stories all the time. Archie's not that easy to draw. Dan DeCarlo is a genius, but it is repetitive.
I asked Renzo if he could do like an Archie style because
I can do an Archie style
because I want to do one of the patriarchs. All the patriarchs. He's got 7 kids, and all the kids got hobbies, and one of them is going to be a comic book artist. So one of the little girls is going to draw a romance comic. So that's what I want to do in one of the patriarch stories is have like a backup story of the patriarch's daughter writing a romance comic. Oh, Tony left. Tony thinks that's a terrible idea.
At any rate, I can do an Archie style if Renzo can. I've worked on, in fact,
let me see some of your Archie style stuff.
I have to see if I can find the pages. I have a couple of pages.
Archie style. It doesn't have to be exactly Archie. It just
some poinsettia, her hair is basically like Veronica's hair.
But what I mean by it's like the concept is it's drawn by a 13-year-old girl.
The
you know?
highlight. Well, Renzo can draw anything, but you've got him very busy, so that's why.
Yeah, you can
I'm
see
not
in
sure on
Pro Tail
Renzo.
too. He does two completely different styles. He
I
does-
got one.
what is it?
Will Elder and oh God, let me Will Elder and Harvey Kurtzman, Wonder Woman.
Oh my God!
Well, but Elder and Kurtzman worked together a lot. They were best
But
friends.
not on Wonder Woman.
Not
That
the
would
way,
be-
the character.
Oh, something happened here.
Yeah, that would be cheeky, right?
Harvey Kurtzman did write a few
Right.
years of
Will,
Flash Gordon.
they-
for
I-
Dan Barry.
Harvey Kurtzman he did a lot. Did he do Little Annie Fanny for Playboy?
Yes.
They both did. Both of them.
Oh my God.
That would be like Wonder Woman After Dark.
You guys, I had Harvey Kurtzman in SVA.
Oh, he
Teacher.
is a teacher.
Yeah, he had Parkinson's, so he was a little slowed down, but he was there. And he had one of his assistants do a lot of the teaching. But he did explain how he worked like he was like Photoshop before Photoshop. He would lay the comic book out for the artists, like for Wally Wood, for any of these people. And then they would put different color and different like Sharpie markers, changes on tracing paper. So it'd be layer after layer after layer. He was always running late because it took so long to get these stuff done. That's why there isn't that much Annie Fanny.
Oh, okay.
Annie Fanny started as Goodman Beaver, and they changed it.
I'm kind of
Chick.
fascinated by artist procedure because it's like something I've been
He
reading
was
my whole life, but I don't know how they do it.
You'd like him. He was a real hands-on editor, and like he's like Chuck. Everything had to be exactly right. Like Russ Heath and Will Elder, all those guys worked from on the war books, and those costs, even all those uniforms, the uniforms of Civil War, are all perfect. Except he couldn't stand Wally Wood because Wally Wood was so good that he could fake the uniforms and get away with it. That's a joke that he couldn't stand Wally. He loved Wally Wood, but.
So I was thinking Rick Veitch writing, Frank Bruder drawing, Jonah Hex.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of bizarre stuff, but Rick Veitch is a mad genius. For those of you who don't know,
Yeah, Rick Veitch he's a nice guy too.
He was on my channel. He was a great guy. He seems to just always be on the peripheral looking in. He always does bizarre stuff. He had the unfortunate circumstance of following up Alan Moore on Swamp Thing, and so I was like positioned not to like him. You know what I mean? Because I love that stuff. But he went in a completely different direction. He kind of made it more like sci-fi, as opposed to Alan Moore's like whatever quasi mysticism. And he was so good. And then Frank Bruner, arguably, I think he draws the sexiest women of all time.
Oh, Frank Bruner's great. Yeah, Frank Bruner's great.
And I got the comic is terrible, but the art is amazing. Warp.
Oh yeah, I got Warp.
Oh,
I used to get those books. I got all those books. I love that book. The art's awful. The story is completely incomprehensible.
Yeah, it's an adaptation of a play written by a committee.
And Neil Adams did all the designs, and it was like super gay Kill Raven designs.
Yeah,
You guys all have like banana hammocks on.
Yeah, it was S&M for kids. It was like,
but it looked so. I got all those issues.
It's beautiful. It makes no sense. It's one of those fantasy things
None.
where you just accept it.
Or-
Hey, the doggy's here. The doggy's here. Anybody got another one?
all right, I got one. All right, we're gonna go back to Chuck Dixon.
Okay.
But Chuck Dixon with his hero Steve Ditko on the Doom Patrol.
Oh my God.
I was going to say FF, and I said no, Doom Patrol, because
Oh,
imagine
every
Chuck
part of
would
that I
definitely
like.
keep Ditko happy because he understands Ditko.
Because
Right?
Ditko, like I said, people don't realize it, but he likes the weirder, goofier, like you kind of forget how bizarre Airboy was. Like the air coffin and Misery. Misery is one of my favorite villains.
Well, you could put them on Airboy, but Chuck already wrote Airboy, so I can't say that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like all the bizarre stuff he emphasized. Like you think Chuck Dixon would streamline Airboy and just make it about air pilots? No, but he did all the goofy stuff, all the weird stuff. But oh my God, Chuck Dixon writing Doom Patrol, because he would have modern sensibilities, but he would definitely harken back to the silliness.
And we also do story. How many writers would be able to do a story that would not piss Ditko off?
And then Ditko,
right? With it had to be an objective story. Like it could not be like at some point, you could not. He'd have to be hero. Would have to be the hero. He was very.
Well, they're both conservative, so they would probably agree on more than not.
Well,
yeah. Pat Mills writing and Brian Boland on pencils. Dick Tracy. Now, I don't know if you guys know Pat Mills, but that was.
I was going to say, I'm not sure who Pat Mills is. Can you bring me
Judge Dredd basically created all the most of the 70s British comics, Star-Lord, Judge Dredd, all that stuff. Slain, he is the Stan Lee of
oh, okay.
Not the stainless steel. You ever read the Stainless Steel Rat?
Yes, yes. I read
a novel. I read the novel. Yeah. And that guy used to draw. Harry Harrison used to draw comics.
Oh,
that was done by Carlos Esquerra.
Right.
Yeah,
Esquerra did the comic, but Harry Harrison wrote the novels. I read a couple of those novels, and he wrote comics. He drew comics. Harry Harrison for Atlas for Stan Lee in the 50s.
Brian Bolland, yeah, he did an interview with Mark Miller, and what an interesting guy. Like he's like this prim proper gentleman, and then he's talking about like punk rock and fish.
Oh yeah,
it was just so funny to see pleasant British, like hello, talk, like just talking about like getting his knuckles dirty and stuff.
Exactly, like
cursing, and oh my God, he was so cool. I wanted to hang out with him.
I don't know if you could get it anymore, but Cartoonist Kayfabe talked to him for like two hours, and he's into all this wacky like punk rock stuff, like dark British music and all that. And he's just like, okay, I'll have a spot of tea.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm out of somebody.
A spot of tea, and I'm listening to the
so Dave Gibbons like that too.
He was so cool. And you just see Mark Miller is just like, like he's all prim and proper. It's funny because it's coming from a guy who should be teaching Victorian literature.
75 years old.
Yeah. That's a good. I love Brian Ballard. I think the first time I noticed Brian Ballard, he worked with Chris Claremont on a 6-issue series called The Black Dragon.
That's John Bolton.
Brian Ballard. That's John Bolton. Okay, so I'm mixed. So the first time Brian Ballard was Camelot 3000. I got the guys mixed up. Yeah, John Bolton did.
That was late. Camelot 3000 was a late comic.
That was it was 11 months.
Forever to finish. Mike W. Barr wrote it.
Yeah, 11. I remember that 11 months between issue 11 and 12.
And he was annoyed. This is like the last time he was inked because he was annoyed by the inkers. He didn't like Bruce Patterson much. I think he was okay with Terry Austin, but he still wasn't crazy for it. That was the end of. And he's an early adopter of digital comics too, digital drawing.
Oh, you just made me think of one because Mike W. Barr was a proto DEI guy. So what about him doing Harley Quinn with Bill Sienkiewicz?
I like Mike Barr. Mike Barr did a great Batman with Alan Davis.
That's one of my favorite Batman runs.
I hate him.
Way too short.
You hate him?
No, I hate Harley Quinn.
Yeah, no, that's why.
Yeah, but the original Harley Quinn that Paul Dini and Bruce Timm were fine. It was when Jimmy Palmiotti ruined him.
The character's destroyed now. She's beyond all redemption.
The oddest thing is that Jimmy and Amanda destroyed it, but that's their whole thing. I mean, their line and at conventions for Amanda Connor is like out the door because of Harley Quinn. People love that. She's such a good artist. She's terrific.
The
other ones have made her lesbian and all that.
As much as Palmiotti gets on my nerves, I will never say anything bad about Amanda Connor. She's
I couldn't.
And I love her art.
I've met Jimmy a couple of times, because he hangs out, and he's a nice enough guy. And they all say, just don't talk politics with him. Just don't. He argues politics like my sister, John, which means it's not all that knowledgeable and all feelings.
Right. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
Here's a good one. I don't know. This is really weird. Basil Wolverton on Brother Power the Geek.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And you can use him as a writer and an artist because he was good. Yeah.
Basil Wolf, he did a lot of really weird sci-fi and horror for EC. Just there's no way to describe him other than like I would put him in like American Splendor. What that time? He it's almost like he was a 70s head shop kind of artist before that kind of stuff even existed. He is really bizarre.
Okay, I got one.
Basil Wolf. What do you got?
So I'm gonna say Steve Englehart in the 70s, the guy who put the Vision and Scarlet Witch together, and Matt Baker on Wonder Woman.
I'll buy that.
I think Wonder Woman is a character he would have drawn if he didn't pass.
Didn't Steve Englehart also? He was with Marshall Rogers for that Batman run, right? With
Yes,
the Joker.
that was a terrific run.
Yeah, that's
well,
my favorite
they
Batman.
based the whole movies thing mostly on that.
Yeah,
You keep giving it to Frank Miller, but it's really Neil Adams and then Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil, and then Englehart and Rogers.
Man,
In fact, they changed it to Silver St. Cloud. They said to Vicky Vale not to pay Englehart any money.
Man, what you said? Matt Baker died of like a heart attack or something.
I think he died of something stupid that nobody dies of anymore, like appendicitis. I have to look it up.
Oh man, we really missed out on him not drawing Wonder Woman.
He died and was like not even 50 years old. So you're looking 20 extra years. He would have drawn through at least to the 60s.
Yeah,
and then with the way Stan Lee was getting all the best artists to work on the superhero books, he would have definitely done something at Marvel, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh yeah, just to show, because I'm sure people don't know who he is. I first heard about him with that rhymes with rust or rhymes with lust.
That's
whatever.
one of the first graphic novels.
But I mean, I just think he draws like in a time when a lot of people were stiff. Like Marcus was doing these romance covers, and the Matt Baker ones by far stood out the best.
Well, we did over 200 of them, so
he just made like I don't know. He has like it just seems like there's movement. Like, don't you believe that this woman is walking? Dick. No offense to Dick Giordano, but if he was to draw this, it would be like a static shot.
No, Dick Giordano had more of a posed scene.
But look at that
painting and stuff. That's a different thing.
I believe that she's comfortable. You know what I mean? He's such a good artist. It's a shame. Which brings me to like, could you imagine if what's his name? Manley. What was
Joe?
What's that? Joe Manley. I want Joe Manley on Iron Man, and who would be the writer? Darwin Cook. Your mic's off, Marcus. Yeah, how about that? Darwin Cook writing it, Joe Manley drawing Iron Man. In the old.
That's one of my fun things when you get like a showcase, a DC showcase, or a Marvel, the black and white big books. You look at it and see what weird artist did a fill in that you never think they would ever draw, and try to figure like Alex Toth did the introduction of a Juggernaut on top of Kirby layouts and Vince Coletta inks, and it's a not great comic, but that's the Juggernaut, the first Juggernaut.
Oh, you said Alex Toth. What would Alex Toth do?
Here's one that I just popped in. Alan Moore and Bill Sienkiewicz on Doctor Strange.
We would probably get contact high just reading that.
Yeah.
They would put LSD in the ink. Mom, I'm sweating. That would, yeah. Alan Moore, Bill Sienkiewicz on anything. I mean, I'm still like one of the last holdouts that I love Alan Moore.
Have you read Straight Toasters, John?
I'm going to get some more coffee. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, that was the last collaboration they did. Something happened, something weird, and they never finished it. It's this weird, like microcosm about life in a shopping center somewhere in England, in Northampton, England. But the art is beautiful. The art is fantastic. Well, it's Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, now I gotta look. I think I might have an issue or two of it. But have you ever read
it was. I think only one issue was released before the whole thing fell apart. That was on something would pick him up, and then he would end the strip. Remember?
Did you ever read Cinema Purgatorio, Alan Moore?
Yes,
I love
read a lot of it. I stopped right after. Gosh, I stopped right after Supreme. And then I just sort of I just said, I'm done with this guy. I don't know. And then people tell me that his ABC stuff was fantastic.
It was.
I really got to start getting into that one. Yeah.
You would love Tom Strong. It's a love letter to pulps.
I hope so. It doesn't have any of that deconstruction, mean spirited.
No, it is so wholesome and good. It's basically, it's Doc Savage. If Doc Savage was a friendly family man,
Yeah.
and there's talking apes, it's the spaceships. It's really good. Tom, and I like Promethea. Promethea is really weird. There's 28 issues because there's 28 cards in the tarot or something like that, and every issue is inspired by a tarot card, and it just gets really, really weird. But I think it's a really good comic. I know everybody likes Top 10, Top 10 is their favorite, but I like Top 10, but it was my least favorite out of all of them. And then Rick Veitch and Alan Moore did Gray Shirt, which is an homage to the Spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he did I can't think of the name of the character, but he was made out of ink, and it was them doing Joe Cole's Plastic Man.
Oh, okay.
The ABC comics are right up your alley. I'm surprised you didn't read them, because it's not that bizarre. Well, it is bizarre, but it's not that like nasty Alan Moore that he kind of is.
Alan Moore has two things. He's either extremely deconstructive and mean spirited, or the other. So that's why I sort of just stopped reading him. But you're right.
A young girl in it somewhere getting had issues.
What's that?
Alan Moore always had a young girl doing weird things that I'm not supposed to talk about on YouTube.
Yeah,
like even Tom Strong, even Tom Strong's daughter,
Tesla Strong. Yeah,
yeah, it was. He could cut some of that out.
She got married to like a lizard guy or something, right?
Yeah, and she was too young too.
Yeah.
That's an Alan Moore trope. That's a John Byrne trope too. John Byrne always pits the older guy with a really young girl like that.
That's a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby thing.
The Fantastic Four.
Who did it first? I mean, in the first Henry Pym and Janet Van Dyne, he explicitly said she was 16 years old, and she looks like my dead wife.
Yeah, but we don't know if they got together right away.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, that was the December-May romances were creepy, but they were. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying.
Well, back then it was a different time, and they were
years
a little
ago.
more accepted. Back in the 50s and 60s, a little more accepted than they are now. Now, no way.
I mean, Humphrey Bogart married Lauren Bacall, which
she was really young. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was really young.
Yeah, she looked like a baby when they got married.
Did anybody?
I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying it wasn't as horrible as we look at it today. What we say, Tony?
Did anybody here read that miniseries Stan Lee does, the DC Universe?
Yeah,
I read a lot of those. I enjoyed those.
Pretty good. I mean, a lot of his ideas, I think, stuck. So, I mean, I was thinking maybe I could do something with Stan Lee at DC, but he's already done it.
Right.
Those were like different. He didn't really write much of the real DC characters.
We're getting raided. Where are we getting raided from? Bancroft? Are we getting a Bancroft raid? Good to see you, some person.
I was thinking you would say, what would Alex Toth do? Like at Marvel, he could do Daredevil or Spider-Man. Like that would be really nice for him.
I was thinking Alex Toth on Warlock.
Yeah. Well, these guys are so talented. They could draw anything.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see Richard Corbin do Hulk.
I think he did a Hulk miniseries.
Yeah, he did. I think like a one shot where
he did a one shot. I forget. He definitely did one.
Mm-hmm.
But I would
have to come back in the mainstream to get some money. These alternative comic artists,
Yeah, I would love. Oh, how about Richard Corbin on Ghost Rider?
How about Chuck Dixon on Mr. E?
Mr. E.
No, not Mr. E. Mr. A. Sorry, Mr. A.
Like
Yeah.
that.
He would love that. He would love that.
I mean, he's not an objectivist, but I mean, he does lean.
Well, he would do his research. He would do his research and do it justice.
I'm sure he knows enough about objectives.
Because Chuck Dixon quit Spider-Man for 20 years when Kirby left, when Ditko left. So you know he religiously loves. But
no, he did all of Marvel comics for years, and then he picked up Fantastic Four.
How about Mike Plug on Man Bat?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a natural. Yeah,
I can see.
Yeah, for those, Mike Plug did the early Werewolf by Nights.
and Ghost Rider. He created Ghost Rider.
Created Ghost Rider, and oh my God, did he? He's up there with Frank Bruder as just like one of the unsung heroes of just.
Mike Plug on Stanley and his monster.
Oh wow, that's a
He
good.
did that. He did a big graphic novel, Adventures of Santa Claus, which you should not read.
Did what?
He did a huge graphic novel, Adventures of Santa Claus, so
What
which
is
you're not allowed to read because we can't.
it's adult?
No, it's too close to probably what you're going to do.
Oh no,
It's
Oh,
like
no.
one of those real versions of Santa. I don't know if he gets at the Odin section of it, but I think that it's.
Well, I'm doing a biography of Saint Nicholas, so it's going to be mostly true to the stories because I'm
The
sure
old world story of it, yeah. Before Harold Sunbloom got a hold of him for Coca-Cola.
right. That's actually something I'm struggling with because Santa wore blue up until like 1919, and now he's iconically red. So
Red,
like,
yeah. Well, that's because
are people going to freak out when I have Santa in his blue robes?
Well, but people do. There's stuff where if you collect Santa collectors and stuff where you see the old world Santa. Like there's an old world Santa, United States Santa. The United States Santa's the red, and the media is so strong here. That
because Santa's associated with like the North and cold and everything.
a little more fun than.
But I got a couple of scenes. I was actually daydreaming about one of the scenes today. I can't wait. And I hope it's going to be a little shocking. A couple of things I want to do. I mean, Odin's not a good guy.
This one might be similar to what you're writing. I forgot the name of it, but you might.
What's that? I can't even read it. Rhodes?
It's a short novel by a pulp author called Seabury Quinn, who did Jules de Grandin, but it was about Santa Claus and his early days. It's called Rhodes.
Oh, okay.
So you might know.
Email me or something. So I mean, if there's something too similar that I can't do it, that would kill me to find out that.
Well, that's why I don't want you to look at that thing. I think.
But I also don't want to spend all this money making it. And then people are like, oh, you just ripped off Phil Moskowitz's.
Yeah, but people don't know. Tony knows, but nobody else does. Come on.
That's true. Tony, don't tell nobody, Tony.
And they won't remember Plugs either. You're going to have different stories of Santa Claus or Saint Nick. It's just going to be the way it is.
Well,
you can't worry about it.
I mean, it's
Not
gonna
something like that.
it's gonna be like annotated. Like it's gonna have like little numbers, and when you go to the back, it'll be like this happened on such and such date. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to make it like a biography, and then slowly it turns into the myths.
Here,
That's
in
my
that case.
that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, there we go.
Max Allan Collins and Sherlock Holmes.
That's
Did he
a
already do something with Sherlock Holmes already?
I don't know. Did he?
He had to. Max Allan Collins. He had to do something.
well. Max Allan Collins does Miss Tree.
Mhm.
Have you read Miss Tree yet, Tony?
Loved it. I love
Okay,
Miss.
okay.
Yeah. She's
It's one of my wife's favorite comics.
Oh,
she's
really?
she's connected
Yeah, well,
to right?
She liked that, and she liked that Maze Agency.
Tony, what did you say? You might kind of went.
I'm sorry, she's connected to Joe Friday, right? The character. Yeah.
Might be Joe
Officially
Friday's
Joe
daughter.
Friday's daughter. Her maiden name is Michael Friday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She married Michael Tree, and then
Did you read The Perdition, John? That was a great story. Yeah, another one.
when people ask me what's your favorite comic book movie, I say Road to Perdition, and people are like, well, that's not a comic book
He
movie.
He wrote Dick Tracy for years. Nick Tracy's over now. He wrote it with for years.
I ordered the first hardcover of the collected of Dick Tracy, and it's not here yet. I wouldn't even have thought it. Now I'm checking what's going on.
Which Dick Tracy, John? Chester Gould?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you'll love it. Such a great run.
Now I got it. Now I got to check. Did it get sent to somebody else's house? Oh, it's like $50. Come on. Oh, it says arriving December 14th. Okay, so all right, there we go. So and I'm trying to think of real wacky stuff. I'm surprised. I knew Marcus was going to know Mike Plug and Frank Bruder.
He was assistant for Will Eisner.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I
Early
could see
70s,
that.
yeah.
I could see that because, yeah, his faces have a Will Eisner look to him. But he did Werewolf by Night, and he got kicked off it because he was slow, I think. And I'll tell you, Werewolf by Night just wasn't as good once he left.
And he did the storyboards for The Thing, 1981. He was
really?
him and a special effects artist by the name of Rob Bottin. They both kind of got together, and for 6 months before the shooting, they designed every bit of that monster. That's why that movie looks so good. It's all partially designed by Mike Plug.
Although Max Allan Collins did not write a good Batman.
I don't remember even. Did he do that? I didn't even read that.
He created that. I think he created. What was the Robin that was a punk? Jason Todd.
Oh, really?
I think he created Jason Todd. He's either him or Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin didn't write a good Batman either.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really don't like Death from the Family. The KGB story was okay, but I didn't like
Death from the Family at all.
I don't want to say anything bad about Jim Starlin, but you brought it up.
I
And we
love
got
Jim
Profire
Starlin.
Studios
He did
over
a
here.
good job on
Hello,
Batman.
wise and handsome chat. Hello, wise and handsome host. Are you the same guys that did Band of Crows? Band of Crows. If this is the same guys that did Band of Crows, I cannot sing the praises of that comic book enough. It is so good. It is so affordable. If you know, confirm if you are the guys that did. Yep, that is it. This game of Crows. Geez, what is wrong with me? Band of Crows is the best crowdfunded book I've ever read.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
It is by far the best crowd. Good job. I can't wait for the next. I'm really intrigued by the story. Your art is outstanding. And it came in a big cardboard box, and I filled it up with 15 issues of Heroic Tales, and I brought it to work, and I left it on the subway. So I used that box to come to work. And
I had such a fear of leaving stuff on the subway.
So if anybody on the subway, look, I found comic books, you know.
Hey, Saboteur, what's up?
And he's putting them in his bank vault, thinking he's going to be rich or whatever.
Hey, John, am I misremembering this? But didn't the Batman kill the KG Beast?
Did he? I don't remember.
Yeah. They were fighting in the subway, and then he like walled him off.
I'm wrong about Jason Todd, by the way. It was officially Jerry Conway and Don Newton, but after Crisis on Infinite Earths, then they rebooted him to the guy who was stealing the tires off the back.
Oh, okay.
He didn't start that way. He just started as a Dick Grayson clone. Let's look up that other one, KG.
If you like fantasy comics, I can't push Band of Crows enough. Where can we get your comic? Where can we get your comic? It is really good. It's one of those comics. I think if you're into comics and you want to support indie comics, I mean, this to me is something that everybody should get. Hello, Saboteur. New name. Did you come from Bancroft? If so, hello. Good to see you. Yeah,
I've seen him, but he appeared with us on the Hump Day show. He's an artist.
How did you print out all of those boxes, man? Like, you know, it's a lot of money to print.
I have 1,500 more boxes.
Dale, how you doing? He braced the beam against the steel door, trapping KG Beast in a room in the sewers. There you go.
That's it, and he died. He pulled a cask of Amontillado. I remember that.
Oh, the many insults of the
Dale, what's up?
Were hard to bear.
Here's one, John. Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan on Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah, but they work together. The whole thing is to get an artist and a writer that never worked together. But you know what? Stick with Chuck Dixon on Little Orphan Annie because he loves Little Orphan Annie. And he talks about her so much that I'm really tempted to get collections of Little Orphan Annie. He says,
That was in the play.
he says, there's a heartless killer. Little Orphan Annie, he goes, Little Orphan Annie was stacking bodies. And all I could think of was Cal Burnett. It's a hard knock life. You know?
That's the thing. You know, that musical killed the character. She was an adventure strip. My father used to read her. He really enjoyed her.
Howard Gray was a conservative too.
Right. And Daddy Warbucks was like,
He was like
he
a
wasn't
robber
a
baron.
capitalist pig. He was like a force for good.
Well,
you
when
know?
they needed somebody dead, they called the Asp.
Yeah.
He was inscrutable Asp, you know, like all.
Okay, it's not for sale right now.
Trump,
We're gonna put more- hey, when you're ready to do it, come on my channel. I would love to talk to you about your comic. I really do. I mean, it seems like fantasy is making a comeback in the indie scenes. Like I'm almost like a dinosaur doing, you know, as a couple of people said, I like you and your art looks good, but I'm so tired of cape shit. I mean, I like superheroes, but man, fantasy, I don't know what it was, but I think the Lord of the Rings movies, I mean, granted, those are 20 years old, but it's rekindled my love of fantasy.
Cape shit. That's not fair. If it's an independent book, you have to give it a shot. You know,
I also understand that it's expensive, and then you wait long, and then does this guy get to deliver? I understand.
Well, that's a whole other issue about. Yeah, that's.
Thank you, everybody. Yes, I love making you come back and heavy metal. Yeah. It's heavy metal. Have you listened to Castle Rat? I don't particularly like them, but I appreciate them. I did not realize those two Annie characters were supposed to be the same. Which two Annie characters?
I guess the one in the play. Well, they're not really the same, but that musical has been around forever. It's not. They made that musical. That's what they used to do. They made Broadway plays of all those characters.
Well, it's like the Wizard of Oz movie and the book are very different, but like I like them both. You know, but I haven't read Little Orphan Annie because to me Little Orphan Annie was a little girl thing. But Chuck Dixon's like, no, she was traveling the world wasting.
No, there were no back then. All those strips. There's a guy who posts all those strips, and I'm reading like Leonard. I'm reading Mary Worth, and I never thought when they on stage, and when they're on stage was you know when I was a kid, I'd be like, well, I want to read this, and I'm reading this. Oh, this is great. You know,
Mary Worth. It was a crime mystery, right?
Well, it was on stage with man. They ended up changing it to Mary Worth, Leonard Starr, who. And it's beautiful, and it's like now you know why people read it. You know, TV wasn't developed like it was, and they'd have storylines go on for weeks.
What's a team? So this is a hokey premise. I fully admit it. We're kind of straying from the concept of it's clobbering time, but we're taking an artist who's never worked with a writer who's never done a character. So we're just kind of, you know, one of the things that we said was Alan Moore, Bill Sienkiewicz doing Constantine or something like that, you know, or you know, and then
so
imagine what the series would be.
And it's hard to do all the writers like Marv Wolfman or Len Wein because they wrote so many characters and they work with so many artists, or Jerry Conway. Claremont stuck with the X-Men mostly.
Yeah,
he didn't go back and forth to DC till later. Those guys went back and forth. They worked on like every character known to mankind. So it's really hard to say.
Eric Powell on Popeye.
Oh my God, Eric Powell could do no wrong. Did you see he did like a Superman one shot? It was just
with Bizarro. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Eric Powell on Popeye. Oh my God, that's like a natural. I would love to see Popeye hanging out with the Goon. You know,
there's another one I don't know if you'll get, but I think the person to completely overhaul Superman in the comics, mainstream Superman, would have to be and it would have to be one. It would have to be written by one. I mean, I'd like it to be drawn by Murata, but you said that they can't work together, so I'd have to think of somebody that could match one's writing. But I mean, One Punch Man is probably the best current day superhero.
I gotta check it out. Everybody tell me it's My Hero Academia. I gotta check it out.
It's perfect.
Dale A has one in the chat.
Yeah, this was a good one. I was waiting for Tony. I didn't want to interrupt. George Ragman. That is interesting.
Well, if Darren Cook doesn't choke Joe Quesada during the making of the comic, then it'll work out fine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Oh, you know what? Uh, I don't know. This would be really weird, but like, I want to say Mobius on the Fantastic Four, but who would write it?
Didn't Mobius already do the FF?
He did the Silver Surfer.
He did the Silver Surfer with Stan Lee,
Okay. Yeah.
but like a full run of Mobius during the Fantastic Four. Like I can just imagine the Fantastic Four like flying over the Skrull homeworld or in the negative zone.
Well,
You know,
he drew Galactus. So
right? He
that's
drew
why you
Galactus
think-
and the Silver Surfer, but who
Who
would?
would Starlin writing it?
Oh, go ahead. Well, thanks for popping in, and I love your comic, man. Looking forward to issue number 2.
How about? I was thinking.
Popeye Goon sounds fantastic. Yeah, Popeye.
How
Guys,
about
I'm almost 60, so I understand I'm older than me and Marcus are the old farts over here. And Marcus, you could back me up. Popeye was super popular.
super popular? Love Popeye. Yeah.
And then he just disappeared. Like he just went away. I guess.
Well, you know the Robin Williams movie killed him.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
I
but it
like
was such a
that
big box office bomb. That was the end of Popeye.
Guys, everybody, do your homework. Go watch the Popeye movie. I freaking
No,
love that.
it's a good movie. He played a great Popeye, but the movie bombed.
The movie
I
bombed.
mean, it
but
was a huge bomb.
the sets were awesome. The makeup was great. I thought the story was good. Shelley Duvall as Olive Oil was
Well, perfect casting.
fine. Oh my god!
It was. I don't know why. It was a huge bomb. Nobody liked it. Maybe because it was a musical.
But and I love the songs. When I was teaching kindergarten, I would just all of a sudden break into I mean, you know what I mean. You know, and all the kids are like, they thought it was
There's
they
another
didn't know, they
movie
thought I made it up. And it was
that
funny
my
because
kids
the
love.
principal of the school said, because I was temporary, I was a substitute. She hired me when she heard me singing that song.
The other character that used to be ubiquitous was Peter Pan.
And
There's
Peter Pan
no
was,
Peter Pan. I
I
don't think
love
you can. Peter Pan and Hook. They did that movie Hook, and my kids love that movie.
I still got to see Hook. I love Peter Pan so much. I avoided seeing
They
Hook.
loved Hook. They loved Hook. My mother liked it too.
Peter Pan.
But you don't hear. I don't think Peter Pan is a little bit. There's the underage kid thing going on. You know.
Well, Peter Pan may or may not be a character that's being worked on now in Heroic Tales. Blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah, a lot of those old time characters. Dick Tracy's nearly not around anymore either.
Right.
Shadow, like Tarzan. But Tarzan's still known, but he's not
Tarzan was everywhere.
everywhere.
And-
Cartoon. Remember the Filmation cartoon show?
Yep.
And then Carol Burnett at the end of her show, she'd do the Tarzan yell. She was famous for that.
Yeah.
And it was
Pull it here.
everywhere.
I just want to address this comment. Isn't there a Popeye horror? Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, well,
We were
whatever.
talking about public domain, and it just irks me when you just want to make a name for yourself. Let's be shocking. Let's just make let's
Winnie
make
the Pooh. That's
Sherlock Holmes
ridiculous.
cannibal. Let's make Popeye the Slayer Man.
I mean,
It's just lazy. But yes, there is one, and
but that's not happening to Conan, right? Conan has been written by Chuck and Titan Comics. And books are keeping it alive. Conan,
Conan, like you said, Conan has like a quasi public domain. You know, I wouldn't touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole.
well,
man.
ERB won't let anybody use it, and there's no cartoon strip anymore.
Okay, Tony, good. I'll just comment.
James Patterson, which is a horrible writer that uses ghostwriters, is currently writing The Shadow and Doc Savage. So
Well, somebody
Condi
will write it.
is still putting them out, though they
Well,
suck.
that's good. I mean, it's better than nothing. Zach, did Disney kill Tarzan?
Wait a minute. Let's get back to what Tony said.
Sure.
This is a new. This is a new novel coming out, or is this a movie coming out?
No, it's novels. It's a novel series written by a he's a crappy author that uses ghostwriters. His name is James Patterson. He's every
James Patterson is.
Yeah, you'd in New York at least, you'd see his commercials on commercial television after midnight.
he's writing the characters. Anyways, there's a manga of Popeye. They're actually doing a Popeye manga now. I
Wow,
flipped through it. It's sort of like One Piece. It's okay. It's fine.
that's interesting. I mean, Popeye single-handedly got kids to eat spinach for like 70 years.
Oh, I know. That's true. Absolutely true. But
And,
all
okay,
that stuff,
here's
I mean,
another debate then. Is Popeye a superhero?
Yes.
Marcus is 100%. Yes.
He has superpowers. He's as strong as Superman if he takes that spinach.
Right.
I get it. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just cartoony.
And he can animate his tattoos and explode them like battleships
Yeah,
out of his
so much
muscles.
fun, though.
There's a character, John. Are you a fan of Robert E. Howard, the writer?
Robert E. Howard.
Conan.
Yeah, Conan. Why did I like? I read first Conan book, and the first Conan story, and I found it tougher to read than Lovecraft.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's not as user friendly, I guess. But he would write in all sorts of genres, right? And one of the genres that he would make the most money in, it wasn't Conan. It was a character called Sailor Steve Costigan.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Stories. And Sailor Steve Costigan is about as close to Robert Howard writing Popeye the Sailor Man as you can get. I really recommend you read those, John. You'd really have fun with it.
If I'm mixing up floors, Sailor Steve Costigan was based on somebody that he knew, or was Popeye based on a real person?
No, it was based on a sailor. He was created by E.C. Seeger in a strip that he had already done called
Nimble Theater.
Yeah, and essentially he was going to be what was it? Olive Oil and her brother Castor needed to hire a ship to take them somewhere, and Popeye was there, and that's sort of kind of how he slowly took over the strip until all the oils were pushed aside except for Olive, and that's how he took over.
I love that
strip for quite a
I
long
love how
time.
Things evolve and change. Like
they hired some guy to do a modern Popeye strip, but it was really woke. They woked it up, and you can't have anybody do these strips anymore. It's not right.
Like, to advertise myself for a minute, like I have this character called King Fu, and people seem to like this character, and I didn't have any stories planned with them. He was just going to be like a minor.
I remember, yeah.
People reacted to him so well that it was already too late to add him into the stories that were like already. So Heroic Tales 3, it might as well be Mary Sue King Fu, because they both share the same amount of pages. But that was originally going to be another character, another Asian martial artist character. And I was like, why not King Fu? And now Marcus showing all of those romance covers, it triggered an idea of like Heroic Tales 4 might be Mary Sue King Fu romance type story, So this is the same thing. I didn't plan on it, but
I did do a romance drawing.
Got to give the people what they want.
I did do a romance drawing on the studio a couple of weeks ago. Partially because none of the other guys could do a romance drawing.
Oh my God! Fantastic Four to match Mobius. He says Grant Morrison.
Well, Jeff Smith, not
Grant Morrison. Mobius Fantastic Four story. That might.
But didn't Grant Morrison do the Fantastic Four?
Not that I think of.
Didn't he do a limited series
of the Fantastic Four? He did the Eternals.
Yeah, I had that.
He did
I had that
too, but I don't know if he did
a lot of John Romita characters.
Unless he did it after I left Marvel. But
Let me
that
see.
would be awesome. Jeff Smith.
What the heck is
You know what? I would like to see Jeff Smith do Doctor Strange, writing and drawing Doctor Strange.
I think I did this.
I'd like to see Jeff Smith do Sugar and Spike.
Okay.
I'm going to double check.
Too many people remember those guys. Sheldon Mayer. Nobody.
I remember everything though.
Now, let me ask you guys this. I'm way behind in the comments, but I like to just talk as people, have a. Did Disney kill Tarzan?
No,
It
actually,
wasn't bad.
no. When my kid's sister adored that movie, all of her friends adored that movie. That Phil Collins song won an Oscar. No, I think they revitalized him. I hated the movie. I hated the fact that Rosie O'Donnell played a cheetah. I was never a fan of it. But no, they revitalized it. It's just that Tarzan is such a rough character to continue with in modernity, because he's going to be interacting with African Americans
They
and
can't do him.
exactly, and it's rough, man. It's just like Lee Falk's Phantom. You can't do that
You can't do
anymore.
it. It's the white savior. You can do it.
Exactly. So I just stick with I love him. But the problem with this, and I don't know if you guys know this, the Edgar Rice Burroughs Foundation is wokeifying their books. They are rewriting the old Edgar Rice Burroughs novels and taking away certain things in them that might be
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not good.
just like the estate of Roald Dahl is doing that with his old books, and I hear that the Ian Fleming estate is doing that with James Bond. So
it's real funny because I'm about as anti-PC woke as you could possibly get. Like I tone it down for this show. You should hear me at work. And I was reading one of the John Carter Warlord of Mars novels, and I was laughing. I was sitting in traffic court, so that I was sitting in the court, brought this big old book. I'm just laughing, and every once in a while you'd see them like looking at me. I must look like a maniac with my big beard laughing. But in the Warlord of Mars books, the regular Martians are red. If you go to the poles, they're yellow, and they're scientists. But on the moon, they're black, and they come to the Earth, steal the women. They come to Mars and kidnap the women. And so black men from the moon stealing all of our women. And I was dying laughing. I was like, you cannot do this. You cannot do a true to life, book. Just like you couldn't do The Lensman. Tony, have you read The Lensman?
of course, E. Doc Smith. Yeah, I adore them. I was telling you before, John. When I started getting into YouTube, I was in this thing called BookTube, which is a bunch of what we're doing here, but for books. And I had to get out of it because it was so hilarious. He would always get like, okay, guys, today I'm doing a review on the Sailor Steve Costigan, and they're so good, man. They're so great. There's so much action. But God, are they so racist? Why do they have to be so racist?
Yeah, I follow a comic blog.
Again and again.
The guy does this wonderful blog, and he's been doing it for years, and it's 50-year comic reader. So now he's like 63, so he started in the late 60s, or 64. And he goes over, and he does artwork, and it's once a week, and it goes over the books. But every time a woman is not like treated exactly right by like Reed Richards or like Steve Englehart writes like Iron Man says something about Mantis. This didn't age well, I'm like, oh.
I mean, again, I laugh too because really the first 50 issues of the Fantastic Four, it was basically shut up, Sue. You be a hostage. You know what I mean? Like she did not pull her own weight. It really, and then when Roy Thomas took over the Fantastic Four, she was a bit. Shrew. She was a shrew, is a nicer word.
Yeah.
I actively didn't like the Invisible Woman until John Byrne. And then he got accused of making her, boss bitch. But he didn't. He actually just made her. He made her like a full member of the team, is what I thought.
When you go back to the 80s and 90s and they were elevating the woman character, it wasn't like it is today where they were Mary Sue's or the girl bosses. They weren't bossing people around. They were just being strong women. It's hard to explain, but there is a difference. When you read it.
Right. I don't know what art is, but I know when I see it.
Yeah.
I want to get up to speed on some of these comments before people get annoyed. But here's Tarzan black and white on every Saturday in the early 80s. Yeah, Tarzan was everywhere. Cartoons, movies, And I got to say, I read the first Tarzan novel. It was exactly what I expected, but it was excellent. I read the second Tarzan novel. It might as well have been a James Bond set in the early 1900s. It was going through France and Northern Africa, Morocco, going after a jewel thief. It was excellent. I want to get the third novel. At some point, he's fighting dinosaurs in the center of the earth. I
like that.
True. The only reason I view spinach as anything other than a variation of lettuce is because of Popeye. Yeah, I mean it worked for me as a kid. Eat your spinach, you get strong like Popeye. What little boy doesn't want to be strong like Popeye?
Dark Horse did a ton of in the 80s and 90s, a ton of Tarzan miniseries too. That were good. I used to buy it.
Black Hat Cinephile says he has Popeye in a cameo together. What comic is that? You shout out your comic.
Yeah.
I would argue Popeye is a pulp hero since he wears regular clothes and has no secret identity. But he has superpowers. Now, does Doc Savage have superpowers?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, yeah, they keep talking about the bronze skin. He has heightened intelligence. In V&V terms, he would have like all the heightened stats and everything. But
He is a product of eugenics. Remember,
Right.
John?
That's even better. You can't do a Doc Savage story either.
and
Unless it's
the
Tom
Shadow,
Strong,
does he have the ring in the novel that Cloud's meant to mine?
No, the Gear of Soul ring is to like, but there's two different kinds of shadows, John. The one from the radio shows, predominantly played by the late great Orson Welles, he has the mystical powers. He's the Adam Baldwin in the 1994 movie. The one that Walter B. Gibson wrote is the Punisher. That's what he is. He dresses in black so he could go into the shadows and you don't see him.
But he can't cloud your mind or anything.
He could blow your brains out with this 45, but he can't cloud your mind.
I did a drawing of the Shadow once. Let me see if I can find it.
The mystical one is the one from the radio show.
Popeye's real name is Rocky Fiegel. I did not know that. Is it?
Yeah,
Is
that's the name of the sailor. Go and look up a picture of him, John.
the real person that he's inspired by.
Like Popeye. It's the most. He's even missing an eye. He lost it in a bar fight.
Right.
That's where E.C. Seeger saw him. He was a longshoresman that would work security. Yeah,
If you're talking about my comic, it's obviously a romance adventure. It's not just going to be people sitting in a coffee shop exploring their feelings. Although I might goof on that because the whole thing with Mary Sue is goofing on that. But I like the character too much to just reduce it to a goof. I made the character Mary Sue as kind of like a mean-spirited thing, and I realized that doesn't lend itself well to a lasting character. The Invisible Shrew. I like the word shrew. Yes. Shrew is a really good word. And I don't know if there is a female character called the Shrew, but man, that just gets a certain segment of the demographics upset. There's an NPC character that comes in Villains Vigilantes in the very first module. It's a boxer called the Shrew. What are we looking at? Oh, that's you drawing the Shadow?
I drew the Shadow some years ago.
Oh, that looks nice, man. That looks really good.
Oh,
sorry, it's a little bright on this.
Yeah.
Comic art fans. It's I tried to do I did the short cape and the 240 and the two guns, and I'm the only one who could draw a hat. And then I tried to define it with the penciling in the background.
So we've been talking for 2 hours. I mean, I'll keep talking. I have no problem with that. But I should ask people, what do you think we should do for next week? And I kind of would like to get it back into like a conflict.
Why don't we do something weird? Like, why don't we pit Horace H. Hoover? He needs a.
I was about to say that.
And he needs to fund that comic so I can get the 4th issue. Selfishly, I don't care about Fabrizio at all. I just want the 4th issue. Only kidding. And so why don't we pitch something like that? Like we could make stuff up about Horace and give him more powers than we think he has.
Okay. I'll ask Fabrizio
if he wants to come on and we can promote his book a little bit.
We'll talk about Horace H. Hoover as pit him up against other detectives.
I wanted to get him on the studio, and then I thought about Fabrizio in the studio.
I need to tell me what that character is. I've never read him. I need sort of a rundown.
I think
he's world's foremost occult investigator with the vacuum cleaner on his head.
Is the vacuum cleaner his head, like the flaming carrot?
No, it's a helmet.
I don't know why yet.
It's a helmet that looks suspiciously like a Hoover vacuum. We don't know why he's wearing it yet, and it's a mix between pulp, detectives, superheroes, and Lovecraft.
It's really fantastically strange and
you would love it, Tony. Take my word.
Conservative character at the same time. It's kind of really unique.
Yeah, we don't know anything
really great
about
guy.
him other than he's married and his wife is just like a normal, nice lady that they showed her.
We don't know why he wears a Hoover vacuum on his head.
Is it like Paul Burton's Mystery Men? Is it like that sort of fun? But kind of,
there's a little bit of that feeling, yes.
Yeah, it's there's a little humor. Fabrizio.
He's a real straight man, and then he hangs around with all these other weirdos.
I'm trying to think. He's more like a Don Quixote.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I would say.
Now you tell me. Now I can. Yeah, okay.
He's really good. He what I like about him is he immediately just assumes the best of everybody. So in one of the issues, when he finds out something about, he says, "You cat," it beats the crap out of somebody, and it's so shocking because he's the most good-natured guy you've ever met.
Yeah, he doesn't do it that much. He doesn't do that much.
Yeah, I really like. Yeah, I can't promise.
I liked it too.
I'll ask Fabrizio if he wants to come in and clobbering time.
But I wanted to get Fabrizio on the studio, and then I thought that's not would be his bag. They're a little wild, those guys. He's a little more postentious, as we would say. Your other show. He's very bright, and
Fabrizio's got the patches on his jacket.
Yeah, he's
really Marcus.
I'm not always comfortable on the studio, so there's that,
But whatever helps promote his book. Anything anybody want to say?
Promote his book.
Because I'm gonna go to bed. I've been up since 4 a.m.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the post office first thing in the morning and ship all my Canadian.
If they let you, yeah.
Fortune, because Canada is ridiculous, and then I'm gonna come back and try to finish the rest of the shipping of my comic. So, anything anybody want to promote?
Yes, Dr. Mask Retro Elixir is on the studio tomorrow, talking about promoting a book that needs to be funded. I backed it, so that needs to be funded. I will be drawing whatever Dr. Mask. I have to figure what he has in this book. Edgar Allan Poe. I'm going to draw a giant raven.
Speaking of it, Fabrizio does a page for that. Brian Bow does a page for that. So that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Dr. Mask likes all the alternative comics. He's great, and he likes all the romance covers. He likes old school comics.
Oh, I didn't see that there's more comments. Didn't the Phantom and the Shadow have powers? Well,
I don't think the Phantom.
Explain that the Shadow is there's two versions, right?
I don't think the Phantom had powers, but he did lord over black people in Africa.
Yeah, he was
just like sitting like this.
I never got the Phantom. I got is it on the novels?
It's really a comic strip by Lee Falk and Cy Barry.
Yeah, essentially, Mr. Monster, right, by Michael T. Gilbert. Yeah, it was essentially that. It was one family line. The men all take up the Phantom. That's why they think he's immortal. That's why
he's really popular in Europe. They still make comics about him for Europe. I think even Chuck has written some.
Yeah, and you know what? The Billy Zane movie's not bad.
No, it was really good.
Yeah.
Just why don't you do the ape from the Murders of the Rue Morgue? Draw a shaved orangutan in a suit with a straight razor.
That's
you're going to draw an animal.
We just gave him the whole story of Heroic Tale 7.
Exactly. We got the blessing. Oh, what is this? I skipped this. The Retaliators incident at Gilboa Dam, part 1 of the fight. Oh, I asked you for your comic. The Retaliators incident at Gilboa Dam, part 1, fight of the 2. Where can we get this? And give us
where can we get that? Your website?
Where can we get this? This is and Popeye makes a cameo.
Go on John's show and talk about it. We'll sell it.
Yeah. Send me a DM. We'll talk about it.
And Grant Morrison did write Fantastic Four, more from Marvel Knights. Fantastic 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, that's right.
And it was horrible. I hated that book.
He wrote that. Yeah, I put it out of my mind. I remember it.
He had the Human Torch lose a leg or something, an arm or something like that, and he had Sue Storm sleeping with Prince Namor. It was just awful. It was really Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison hates superheroes, so whenever he did them, he kind of twisted them a little bit.
Grant Morrison pays no mind, and he does whatever he wants without and this is what I'm going to do. And the editor's like, no, I'm not going to. No, this is what I'm going to do.
He likes
he's like a spoiled kid that you just humor him.
With the exception of Alan Grant, may he rest in peace. I don't really like English comic book writers.
They don't understand American superheroes.
Constructionism and being edgy. That's all
Well, they don't understand what their idea of America is Judge Dredd.
Did you ever watch that episode of The Simpsons with Alan Moore in it? Did you ever watch that? Remember, Mr. Milhouse comes up to him, Mr. Moore, you're my favorite comic book writer. And Alan Moore goes, really? Even though I made Radioactive Man a heroin-addicted jazz critic who, in fact, is not radioactive. I mean, perfect Alan Moore. Perfect Grant Morrison. Perfect Mark Millar.
Was it really his voice too?
Yes, it was Art Spiegelman, Alan Moore, and what was the name of the dude that did Ghost World?
Dan Close.
It was the three of them, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I saw that, but man, I haven't watched The Simpsons in like 20.
They had
Two have been checking.
Art Spiegelman came into school came into SVA. He did I met him.
Who?
Art Spiegelman, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he wouldn't remember. It was class, but you know. He did a speech in Harvey Kurtzman's class because they were all buddies with Harvey. And his speech wasn't about Mouse. It was about how great Harvey Kurtzman was.
I love Harvey Kurtzman. I love this jungle.
Harvey Kurtzman's a master storyteller. He's underrated at this point. They just think of him as Mad and Little Annie Fanny, but those war books.
Did you ever read the Jungle Book? The one that he did? Oh, I love that.
Really knew what to do. There's a way to do it. Steve Ditko has it too, where you don't have to be. There's a turn of the head or something like everybody in Spider-Man all had character.
I just thought of a bizarre one. What about Will Eisner doing the story of Aunt May and Uncle Ben, how they got together in Brooklyn or something?
Very good.
You might be interested in actually doing that. To be honest with you, you wouldn't do the superhero part,
right? Yeah, I could see like Peter Parker as Spider-Man swinging by, and then Aunt May sits him down. They go through like a photo album. You know what I mean? Because you got to have Spider-Man in it. You know what I mean? And it would be funny to draw Spider-Man swinging through the window and changing.
Somebody else, one of his students would draw Spider-Man.
I would have loved to have seen Will Eisner do Daredevil, an actual issue of Daredevil. Did he?
Oh no, he never worked. He never worked. No, he never worked. He only worked for himself. He made so much money off the U.S. government, you don't even know.
Yeah, he didn't do any more. But if he would do Marvel, he would do.
Once
I could see like Will Eisner doing Willie Lumpkin on his rounds delivering the mail.
Did you ever see he used to do in Batman 400 and in Superman like 500 what action comics? He did drawings of them, and they were all kind of like have a little belly and stuff.
Yeah, they're kind of frumpy. Like Superman needs the belt.
Yeah. Yeah, he really did not. Like if I was going to, when I did stories for his class, they were not superhero stories. Let's leave it at that. Because he didn't not that he was judging you. You could do superheroes. He didn't care. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for him. He had weird assignments. We did a comic strip.
Will Eisner's characters look like the toughest guy in your local bar. You know what I mean? Like a guy you wouldn't want to mess with because
he was studying how to draw people till the day he died.
Did you ever meet Frazetta?
Me? No, not at all.
I never met Frazetta.
I would have loved to have met.
I have a funny Will Eisner story, other than the fact that he got new teeth one year and he started smiling because he had really bad teeth. And he got new teeth and he just was smiling like the whole semester. But one time he was so proud of himself, so he used a brush, right, like a Winsor Newton brush, and he used a 102 crow quill, like you say. But this crow quill handle broke. And here's a guy, he's plenty of money. Go to the art store. I didn't even know he lived in Westchester County and buy all the handles for all the pens for the tip, for the 102 tip he could. But at the time he jammed it on the back of his brush. And he told us he was so proud of himself because to this day he grew up in the Depression, and anytime he could save 10 cents, he would do it.
Yeah, that's the stories of those old timers sticking the money in their mattresses and stuff, hiding their gold.
Exactly. He really was a nice man.
Good question. Why doesn't Superman have a utility belt? In some stories, he does hide things in his belt. You know, that was just.
I think there was a story where he had a pocket in his cape for money.
He would hide his Clark Kent uniform in the pocket in his cape. What I want to know, how did Captain America hide his shield on his back and just throw his jacket?
Yeah, that was a Kirby thing. That wasn't everybody just followed him. That it made a little more sense when Mark Ruwell made him a comic artist or an illustrator, and he put the shield in a big portfolio.
Right. But Black Cat's I'm still working on the comic. It's an origin story, but I have an illustrated novel that's 2 years later. It's finished on sale on Amazon called Retaliate, Masters of Time. Okay, that's good to know. Again, DM me. We'll talk about this. I haven't been asking for guests because they've been with my work schedule, and I really hate rescheduling people. That's why I haven't been going after pros. Can you imagine I get a good pro and then I got to switch? They're going to think I'm a dope and never talk to me. So wait, because rumors have it we're going to go back to this schedule in January. I don't know. So I want to find out what's going on. Hey, Zayd Comics. I'll find another guy who makes comics. Really good job. Check out The Man with No Strings. It's excellent. It's really good.
Phil's a great guy.
Did you read it?
Oh, if I read it, no, I have to order it.
Oh, it's really good. Really good.
I have to order it.
Recommendation. And Marcus, we keep talking about. I'm going to pester.
I have to start drawing faster.
The public eye. At first, I wanted the public eye to meet the people, but now I want the public eye to the silhouette. Okay.
If Phil will let me, I'll draw.
You have an open invitation if you change your mind.
If Phil will let me, I'll draw it. I met Phil at Heroes Con. He's a great guy.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something, but I distracted myself. I don't know. I was going to say something now. I get what I was going to say. I'm getting sleepy. But I'll message Fabrizio, see if he wants to come on next Friday. So I just like just pitting him against all the other detective characters. Not in a fight, but like detective skills and everything. Like he definitely would have put up on Batman because Batman doesn't do all of that extra dimension, pocket dimension stuff.
He could go against a Shadow.
With the Shadow, you start shooting everything, right?
Just bounce off his head.
Once they tallied up all the kills in the almost 30-year run of Walter B. Gibson, and he killed over 1 million people. Over 1 million people.
That's awesome.
It's like I said, John. I mean, if my endorsement comes to anything, read as many of them as you can.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they're really fun. Lester Dent. It just starts getting repetitive because essentially Doc Savage is just walking plot armor. It's just like reading Silver Age Superman again and again and again and again and again, But
I read 2 Doc Savage stuff. I really like the first one. They go to like a lost Mayan village and everything. But it was just like, hey, we got the world's greatest expert in electronics on the team, but Doc Savage is better. We got this guy, but Doc Savage is better. And then the other one I read, his henchmen, his support, they were just hostages. And then Doc Savage would tell them plans. Like they were just bait.
And another one I would recommend, and I don't know if you've heard of him, but it was a 2 or 3 issue run written by Chuck Dixon called The Spider. Did you ever read
The Spider? Yeah, that was by Dynamite Comics, I think. That was
no. The one with Dixon was Eclipse again. That was a
the Spider is a pulp character that they brought back.
He's a pulp. Now the one I'm recommending is the pulp character. He is like the Shadow, but he is completely insane, and he gets the shit kicked out of him in every book. And he barely he snatches victory from the jaws of defeat every issue. I mean, it's amazing that he even wins. And it's
Dresden. You ever read Dresden? That guy just gets beat up every issue. Every novel.
They got to get back into him. Is he still being published?
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be 24 novels. I think the 21st or the 22nd just came out. I read them all. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
And every novel just ups the scales. The last one, they're literally fighting gods. It changes the status quo. Like I started getting a little tired of you read Harry Potter and it's just like, okay, it's going to be the Quidditch match and then the Christmas comes and so by the time I got tired of the formula, they did the Order of Phoenix and changed the formula. So I was doing the same thing with Dresden. I'm like starting to turn it into a formula, and then the 13th novel came out. Completely changed the formula, and I hated it. I didn't hate it, but it was my least. I was like, oh man, I don't like this. And then they brought the formula back, and I'm like, okay, they brought the formula. I like the formula, and now the last novel, they can't go. Unless they're going to do some magic, because it's about a wizard where they erase the memory of everybody in the world, like the whole world knows now. The cat's out of the bag. Like the magic has been dropped.
Check that out.
Maybe Doc Savage secretly copies the skills of people he meets. Power. I like that, the Taskmaster power to copy other people's skills. That would be really photo reflexes. Like one of my friends made up a vigilante's character with photo reflexes, but it didn't work that well because he was still limited by his stats. So, like, if he was to see Spider-Man, he couldn't jump, if he didn't have the strength and stuff like that. So we limited it to like fighting skills and stuff like that. But it was fun. But anyway, now I'm babbling. So I'm gonna message Fabrizio about seeing if he wants to come on.
Yeah, see if we can sell him and get a couple of backers for him.
And if he doesn't, well, maybe we'll just talk about who's
We can do it anyway.
detectives or whatever. But
tell him if he doesn't come on, we're to make sure his character loses.
Real quick question: if he does come on, would he take offense if I asked him questions?
No, that's what the point is.
Great guy.
Okay.
And you don't know his character. It's a good way to ask questions and have him talk about his character. I think would be good because I'll probably get asked the same questions over and over again. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that's good. Does he have his website? Might have a couple of pages you can look at and read and get the feeling of it. I don't know if he's on Global Comics though.
Well, www.horace.hoover.com.
Just Horace H. Hoover, yeah. I'll put it.
And if you want, you can go to is it Kickstarter right now and get.
It's Kickstarter, yeah.
You want to find the link? We'll put up his link.
Yeah, I'll get it. Hold on.
Yeah, so you could Horace Hoover. I highly recommend it. I mean, I keep talking about it. It was like one of the greatest days in comic books. I just ordered everything from Alterna, and then one day I got T-Bird and Throttle. I got from Batsy #1 and Horace H. Hoover #1. I did something I never did. I contacted all three of those guys and I commissioned art from something I never did before. I was so excited about those three comics because I was really comics. And then
I was a little bit iffy on, like, usually when I come on this show, I know the stuff we're talking about. So I mean, I don't like to go in blind to something that I don't know much about. As long as he's cool,
yeah,
he's really cool.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. Check out Marcus. Check out Marcus from the studio tomorrow on non-draw stuff, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, thank you.
Is that when you start? Tony,
that's at 7. And then it's tiring show. The whole weekend's tiring. You draw for like 3 hours. And then BS and make fun of those guys, which is easy because they don't draw as well as I do.
Well, you're the extreme.
Don't tell them I said that. They'll get mad at me.
All right, but I'm blessed. And here you go. Check out Horace H. Hoover on right now. You can get all the issues. And I mean, I think Pepper's so good. He's going to be working on a story with me. I hope we still have that going on. But anyway. Good night, everybody.
Good night, kids. I gotta ask you about that one day.
Goodbye, kids.